So one night, I had finished work. I had left all my belongings here. I came in the back door and I walked over to the kitchen area and I swiped the light, but I was definitely in this force and I couldn't move forward. I would try to go forward to leave and I couldn't move at all. I physically could not move.
Fear really isn't a virus that can spread from person to person. We've actually done experiments to prove that if you put someone in an environment and have one person be very afraid, they can actually spread that. Say a dark forest that starts to be filled with fog and you start to hear weird noises, everyone becomes afraid.
All right, guys, so Shine House, we have Dr. Harry Clore, world-renowned scientist, good friend of mine, actually joining us on this investigation. We're here at the center of the Kentucky anomaly. I guess there's really no better person to have than a world-renowned scientist to try and help us see if that affects, the said haunted location we're investigating.
Well, yeah, I mean, we really set up a huge thesis for ourselves on these next crop of investigations. And having him here in Somerset to further that research that we're doing and to add more. Maybe he can help, he can help guide us. He can help show us hey, how do we marry paranormal theory with scientific protocol? And I think having him here to help us, guide us through that and to walk that line and to see where we can blend paranormal theory with scientific research.
I'm just excited to see how he works. I've heard so much about him, so just to get his take on what's happening here, to have a purely factual scientific mind look at everything, I'm a little intimidated because I feel like I just don't understand the language, but I think it's gonna be great.
Is it paranormal? Is there a logical explanation? How does physics work into some of this stuff? And I'm just really excited to actually get to work with him and see what he has to say about it all.
And I'm going to be interested to see what he thinks about us using the devices that you introduced, Kevin, the Kestrel environmental data loggers. Maybe he can come up with some cool ways that we can implement that in our experiments. And I want him to tell us about our experiments. What are our ideas? What can be, tweaked? What should we stay away from? What to look for, basically. What would he, as a scientist, want to see data-wise when it comes to paranormal activity? What would have him convinced that, oh wow, something spooky is happening here? What environmental data points, what evidence can we collect, what environmental triggers can we document? What are those things that are gonna make him, a scientist, say, that shit's spooky?
All right, Chris, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and letting us know your relationship with this incredible place.
Absolutely. My name is Chris George, and I'm the owner of the Shine House. We've owned it since, I guess we bought it in May of 2016, and it is one of the most beautiful homes here in Somerset.
It's interesting because I've been very anxious to get to Somerset. I have heard a lot of crazy things about Pulaski County in general, but this home, I feel, is really unique because there haven't been a lot of owners, which is not something that's very typical of a home built in the 1880s. You usually have lots of different families that have come through its walls. So I want to jump into the history a little bit of this house. I'm curious what you know of this house.
So I know the house was built in 1885. It was one of the first 6 homes that was actually built on Main Street here in Somerset. And I know that the Girdler family owned this home for many years. And it served in a number of roles. I know that at one point it was actually a funeral home. And I have friends of mine that actually remember being children and seeing, caskets and other things that were stored out in the garage, and stories about them preparing bodies in the basement, and some other things. So there's certainly, for a lot of folks my age, at this point is getting older, that were children growing up and being around this house, it certainly has carried a lot of mystique and mystery through the years.
I'm really into the history of one of the people that lived here. So the Girdler family, because before this was the Shine House, it was known as the Maud Girdler home.
Yes.
I mean, she lived her entire life in this house. She would pass in her late 90s in the home. And she's an interesting character because, she was never married.
Right.
And that's a little odd, right, for a woman of that time.
Absolutely.
What do you know about Maud?
I know a little bit about Maud. She definitely had a mystique. She was a very, influential woman in the community. Her involvement in community activities and those things. But she was also a very big traveler, and liked to travel around the world. Certainly there are, some local rumors about why she never married, and those things. But she definitely has held the hearts of many people. And I think because she did live here for so long, she was an anchor in this community, and really involved in just a lot of the, the different activities that went on throughout the years.
Do you sense Maud here? Like, what is the paranormal activity that happens in this home?
So I seem to draw some paranormal activity at times, and
like
just
yourself,
myself, and just different areas and things that way. Many people have told stories about hearing things. There's certainly been art knocked off walls. There has been my wife actually was here one day and could hear stomping upstairs, which again we attribute to Maud and her boots or shoes or whatnot, walking around displaying those things. There's a cleaning crew that comes in at night over the weekends and stuff, and certainly they have heard lots of things. Overall, I get a sense when I move throughout the building, it has never been something that has been disturbing or troubling. I get more of kind of a cold chill kind of thing, and just kind of that sense that something's there. I think that she continues to want to watch over what's going on, and that she feels really drawn to this, having been raised here, what she established and those things, and that this is hers to watch over, and to make sure that it continues on the traditions that she set.
I am the executive director of the Shine House. My name is Tara Helser. In May of 2016, the Shine House was looking for a home to do art. We were currently going through adult day training centers and providing art to artists with disabilities. And we needed a home, and so By George Properties purchased this home, and we moved in and became a storefront. As soon as we walked in the door, we kind of knew that this was the space for art. I didn't believe in ghosts really until we were here. So I came in the back door and I walked over to the kitchen area, which is, the desk is right here, and so there's a back stairwell right here. And I swiped the light, and then I was just stuck and I couldn't move forward. And it was just kind of like this moment where I felt you can be present and occupy the space during the day, but this is now my time. Physically could not move. People do get pushed downstairs here. About a week ago, my daughter and her husband and their daughter came in to do ceramics in the ceramic studio. Iris said that she felt such a presence on her back, like just kind of pushing her down the stairs. So it was time for her to go, so she just left.
Hi, I'm Dr. Clore. I'm CEO and founder of Beyond Imagination. I'm a scientist, technologist, and inventor. I'm here today because there's all kinds of phenomena that still hasn't been explained by science. There's lots of speculation on supernatural phenomena. For me, it's not a matter of believing or not believing, it's a matter of actually investigating. So in order to determine, is it caused by natural phenomena? Is it something that we haven't detected before but is scientifically explainable? Or is it something that's beyond the normal senses that humans can perceive, but so far our instruments haven't? You can imagine just how far-reaching an effect it would have on humankind if we actually found absolute proof of life after death. So it's one thing to believe it, but imagine the mind-blowing experience you would have of really knowing that there was something that existed beyond this. And of course, there's many possibilities that go beyond just, is there ghost or not ghost? There's probably thousands of different phenomena. So I've known Brandon for quite a while. We in fact have worked on another ghost hunting experience, which involved a lot of human experiments. Also, it's worth noting that Brandon and I have a parallel in life in terms of losing a father when you're young, losing brothers. I most recently just lost my mother in June. So a lot of death experiences throughout my life. And I'm here because Brandon has a different approach, I think, than most people who are researching supernatural phenomena. And that is, he really wants to know the truth. So he's not interested in using instruments that are fuzzy, and so we're going to report the fuzzy results when in fact there are instruments that can go many orders of magnitude more sensitive.
We have 2 REM pods here that we have set up, and we're going to try and get a question and answer session going. So if you see these go off, that's going to be a yes, and if they don't go off, that's going to be a no. So we're looking for any kind of communication, and we just want to say first and foremost that we come here with the fullest respect for yourself in this building. We don't mean any disrespect to you or the home. We're here just to simply communicate. So if there's someone in here with us, could you please set off one of these devices here?
That's long.
Whoa.
All right, I think that's a yes, right?
Yeah.
He's interested in finding the truth, and so am I. So that's what brings us together, as well as our life experiences.
Is this somebody who owned this building at one point in time that we're speaking with? No fucking way. No fucking way. All right, just to be sure, I know I just asked you this, but can you confirm that for us, or are we talking to somebody who's owned this building? All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty amazing, but what's unfortunate about this is that it's bullshit. It's not true at all. You have a walkie-talkie here behind your back, and these devices are very, very, very easily triggered by walkies or any type of frequencies, really. So if you have a production crew with a bunch of communication devices, you got somebody with a cell phone, you could have somebody hiding in the closet over there from a distance setting these off. They could put them in specific places to say, hey, set that one off if you want to do it, and somebody will cue the walkie-talkie, and you notice I'm closer to that one, and that one has a bigger reaction than the one that's further away from the walkie. So this is why you will not see us use devices like this on Haunted Discoveries or any paranormal investigative work that Brandon and I do. If you want to use this stuff in your own personal investigations and closed type of sealed off experiments that you're doing, that's fine. But when it comes to a production crew, and we got sound people, camera people, folks walking around with walkies, people on their cell phones, interviewees who have their cell phones on, this is not evidence. You cannot say that this is proof that something's interacting with it.
For me, what I want to see in terms of a paranormal investigation is an approach that looks at all the various variables, the environment. What are the conditions in terms of magnetic or gravitational? Is there some sort of bacteria in the area? Is there some sort of mold that's affecting people? Are there subsonic frequencies? Eliminating the scientific reasons for why you may perceive something before you jump to the conclusion that it's something extraordinary.
We're right now sitting in the Shine House in Somerset, Kentucky, and as far as we've been able to tell from the current owners, this is one of the 6 original houses for the downtown Somerset area. It was from the mid-1880s, and so this has been here longer than almost all of the buildings in our downtown. I've had a lot of crazy stuff here. The most famous spirit that's supposedly here is a woman named Maud, who lived in this house from when she was about 6 months old to when she died in her bed upstairs at, I think, 94. So, like, I've never, like, she's here, you know, she's imprinted herself pretty well, you know? And we actually, on one of our investigations, we've gotten the best photographic evidence we've ever gotten, like, on any investigation, like, in my 20 years of doing this, you know? So we were actually in this room that we're in right now when we got the photo of the apparition. There's clearly a woman that it was not a person we knew, you know, in the photo. And it's definitely the most solid photo of an apparition I've ever seen. Like, it's not, I don't think it's questionable that it's a human form and it's, you know, a woman that is there, you know?
All right, Harry, thank you so much for joining us on this investigation.
It's my pleasure. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the team here. We got Mustafa, we got Malia, and we got Kevin.
Good to meet you all.
So
You too, sir.
I've worked with Mustafa a long time. I've known Kevin and Malia both for a long time. So it's cool to be out here and introduce one of my best friends to you guys as well. So
We've heard a lot.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about your guys' investigations. It's what's fired me up to come out here.
So Shine House here, as you know, it's kind of ground zero of the Kentucky anomaly, right? And NASA did a study in the 70s, and we spoke with Kyle Cadell and Darren West about this phenomena at our last investigation at Bethlehem. And now being here in Somerset and having you here, I think is going to be fruitful. At our last case at Bethlehem Academy, we brought in Kyle Cadell and Darren West to join us in on testing a few theories that not only we had, but theories that they've been investigating over the years as well. But now we're actually in Somerset. We are at the epicenter of the Kentucky anomaly, and a place that for any paranormal researcher, anyone that's into environmental conditions and environmental phenomena and how that relates to ghosts and hauntings, this is the place you want to be.
So currently the light is on because we're above that threshold, and when it goes below the threshold, and it's in the Paralabs research, the direct. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, see that photon event that happened right there? Yeah. A really quick. Oh,
that's true.
There we go.
That's interesting.
So, yeah, because, okay, so when we weren't all collectively observing this.
There it is again.
I was upstairs by myself watching this, and then we have this recorded as well. It was in there for about, I would say, 45 minutes. It's almost, about 45 minutes. No changes.
Or
There was. There was.
in conjunction.
Yeah.
That's the first one I've seen. That's awesome.
So we're testing this, like this
now the
idea
environment's changing.
that belief can manifest activity and stuff from happening. We're not talking about it. We're not looking at it. Nothing's going on. Then we start talking about it, and now it's happening.
Yeah.
I think one thing we can explore is the idea of a person manifesting these unexplained things in a location. And that's something we did test with Kyle and Darian, and something that I think we can further test here at Shine House. And anytime you add a rocket scientist, I think that that's a recipe for success.
Both gravitation and electromagnetic fields is one of my specialties in terms of looking at anomalies, actually at the start of my PhD. So I've studied the magnetic field maps as well as the gravitational anomaly maps, which are quite detailed, by the way.
I think we're gonna start with Malia, and Kevin are gonna get Kyle, who's a resident here of Somerset, someone we worked with in the past, and you guys can get in here and check a few things out, and then Harry, myself, and Mustafa will go upstairs and give it a run as well.
I don't need a detector because I am a detector.
You are the detector, exactly.
Yeah, I can detect stuff too.
The psychic scientist. Psychic scientist. I like it. All right.
And the big claim here is that any time artwork that is not in alignment with like traditional Judeo-Christian values, that artwork gets knocked off of walls and stuff. And they said they hung up a bunch of saucy pictures and paintings, I guess. They were downstairs, they had them attached to these mirrors, and all the mirrors just came crashing to the ground, glass everywhere. And not only those paintings that were flung off the mirrors, but there were other paintings on the walls that were flung off as well.
Kyle, thank you so much for joining us again. It's
Yeah.
going to be great to investigate together again. Shine House.
Yeah.
You've investigated here before.
Yeah, we've done a few investigations here for the Shine House and one of the nonprofits in the town. We do like fundraising ghost hunts, and we've had a lot of positive activity here.
You know, I don't think this is paranormal related, but myself, Brandon, Mustafa was upstairs earlier on a call, and one of the paintings up there, just a piece of it just fell off on the floor, just randomly.
Yeah,
Right in the
which
middle of
is
our call.
like one of the things that they say happens here is that if Maud's not crazy about something, she will take it down or move it, you know?
Do you have a trusty friend with you?
Which one? Oh my gosh, I didn't get it. Okay, I'll go get it. I'm gonna get the painting too. Oh yeah, we're gonna do something.
So yeah,
The K2, do you have the K2?
You mean this really powerful device?
Oh man.
The most, I think in the 25th century on Star Trek, they would probably use this device.
yeah.
Yes, this is the premier ghost hunting device. It is the greatest one ever, and if there's any, oh my gosh, look at that. That must
Right,
mean,
it is Premiere.
Yeah, you know.
Look, you can tell. Is there a ghost here? Are you an evil ghost? Are you a good ghost?
Okay, good, very good. Thank you so much.
Do you like an iPhone? I guess so. It does like an iPhone. So it likes to detect them very well. So, as you guys have noted before, pretty much anything will set these off. This is just setting it off by just turning the iPhone on and off the screen.
So you're not a reliable piece of equipment there, I would say.
No, they're very popular, and a lot of people like to use them, but they're not well shielded at all. Anything can set it off, as you can see. Phone, walkies will set it off. But even just, what would be a good use for that?
You could use it on an airplane to determine if somebody was on airplane mode, probably.
I have so many questions about this house. Nothing about it is typical. Have you been into other homes, like historic homes in Somerset?
Yeah, and this one is definitely unique. I guess I've never thought about it as much as we're talking about it now, but yeah, this one's definitely unique in the layout. Somewhat, but it's still like close to the rest of them, you know? But I mean, this is very close to what a house would look like from this time period anyway. It's
Yeah.
like just your average house. But now that we're picking it apart, there is a lot of,
Strange.
Yeah.
Like,
On one of our investigations, of course, this is right next to the room that we got the photo in. In one of the investigations that we did, every time we were in that room, a motion detector would go off in here.
That's a good thing to keep in note, though, because when we leave this room, we should have a motion detector pointed in the room because we can see it on the control camera. Just that way.
Yeah.
That'll be crazy if we get that as well.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be really cool.
It's the whole issue that you and I have talked about before, which is having devices that have the appropriate detection range and the appropriate shielding, so that you're not getting false signals.
Right.
And it's key. So even if we detect something with this, when we figure it out, then let's get another device that's even more sensitive. We should have a stronger signal. If we don't, then it's a false signal. But like we were testing before, this device actually, like if I bring this over here, turn it on, it's not doing anything. A little bit.
But nowhere near in the range as
Yeah,
this
it's just
other
that
device,
we get one blue dot.
which is one we like to use, and we've been using the Kestrel drops for environmental conditions and things like that. And this one seems to work pretty well in conjunction with those devices, especially when it comes to the temperature, pressure, and humidity, which has been something that we've seen in instances where we capture something that we can't quite explain. We are seeing changes in pressure.
All right, so we set up the EMCCD camera and Zach's photon intensifier. So we have it on the staircase. That's where people report seeing this woman walking down. Angelique, I know she said that she saw somebody walking down the stairs.
In a previous investigation at the Louisville Bourbon Inn, we were shocked to find that during an experiment we conducted with the photon intensifier, our EMCCD camera captured an unexplainable apparition. This strange figure was documented in the exact area where we also recorded a sharp change in barometric pressure earlier in the evening.
when we experience an emotion, whether it's fear or happiness or anger, there's a variety of changes that occur in our body. In fact, your face looks very different depending upon what emotional state you're in. And so it is possible that if you're in a highly, say, agitated or fearful state, your body temperature could fluctuate. Now that might affect sensors that are detecting temperature. With regard to pressure, I would think that it's unlikely that you would be able to affect the change in pressure because the amount of temperature change that you would undergo would be very small. But if you had hypersensitive sensors for pressure, as you know, the whole formula for pressure, volume, and temperature are connected together. So theoretically, if you had a hypersensitive sensor for pressure, fear could change it.
Yeah, like right now it's feeling a little colder. Hairs are standing up on my arms. I don't know though, but I want to see if that correlates with any environmental changes. And again, boom, right there, right when I freaking said that. See? Yep, always happens. It keeps going off. Right when we're like leaving the room.
You in here?
Alfred, hello?
What's going off still, dude?
Are you setting that off on purpose? It's almost as if when we leave, that's what I experienced when I walked. Okay, it keeps going.
We're right here. We're not here to disrespect you. Thank you. Can you clarify one more time if this is you changing the environment? Thank you. With everyone that works here at Shine House, they believe that Maud is the one manifesting the phenomena here. Is it because they know the history? They kind of already have that thought in their head. They know that this woman lived in this place for almost 100 years and passed away in the building. Is that influencing their thought process? Or is it possible that they encountered something that leads them to believe that it is Maud?
It's believed that Maud, because she came from like a really devout Presbyterian, I believe it's Presbyterian, devout Christian family, that they do not approve of anything like this. And also like mystical stuff. So if you get like, you know, swords and dungeon, like fairy type stuff.
Because you're assuming it's Maud, right? So let's just go along with the history of this area. For instance, if you go down the street to the courthouse, you're going to see tributes both going back to the Civil War, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. The area is full of graves from people who've served in various wars. And so if we said there is an entity, who's to say it's not one of those?
Well, if there is someone in here, I want to introduce myself. My name is Brandon. This is Mustafa. This is Harry. And we come here with respect. If there's someone that can hear us or is conscious or intelligent of the situation. We have this painting here that Chris painted. I'm sure you know who Chris is. So if you can come up to this device right here with the red light on it, this kind of weird Apollo mission type device that's here. You can speak into that, or you can touch this green box I have in my hand. We can possibly detect your presence. So if you're here, can you come up and show us the sign of your presence, please?
Maud, if you are here, on your mantle, looks like they've stocked it with a lot of books about Wiccan and magic rituals and crystals and stuff. How do you feel about that?
Does that kind of stuff bother you, being in your house? Is there anything you want to say to the people that put it there?
All right.
For some reason I picked this up and...
I did every time I picked it up too. It's been doing that. You might want to reset it actually, because it's done that as well when I picked it up. Just that weird blue light right there.
Whatever it is right.
Try moving.
Right here it stops. So it's picking up something from...
Try walking that way. I'm like really curious.
It's something natural that's hitting right around this area here.
It was doing the same thing to me upstairs. When I picked it up, that blue light came on.
Yeah, when I was carrying it upstairs, it came on the
Yeah,
stairs.
I think we
Yeah, I'm
need
gonna
to.
say that's probably some kind of wiring in the floor or something like that that's coming up.
You might want to reset it too, because all of us have, when we picked it up, have experienced that blue light coming on for some reason.
Let me play devil's advocate. We are in a heavily Christian community. I would only require one person to find it offensive to throw them off the wall and say they got tossed. So there is this factor as well.
Didn't Tara mention that there's people in the town that claim that they're witches here and stuff like that?
Yeah, and the basis for them calling them witches is that because they like to make art.
Right, so you can imagine, and we've seen this in other circumstances where there are honest people who think something happened, but there's one culprit who has an ulterior motive. In this case, somebody who would think, oh, that's anti-Christian, I'm going to throw it off the wall, I'll make up the story. There's witchcraft, it's ghosts, you can't display that stuff. It's worked.
It's possible.
Right?
Yeah.
So they no longer display this sort of art here.
Yeah. True. I separated from the team to conduct an EMF sweep, looking for abnormally high levels of electromagnetic frequencies. High EMF may play a factor in some of the paranormal experiences taking place at the Shine House, whether real or imagined. There was an EMF spike right there. That was weird. I was walking down the stairs. As I was walking down the stairs, I got a pretty high spike, like a 2.5, but I don't see. Maybe I have like this HDMI cable here, but that's not giving off anything. That was a quick little blip there. It was very fast. That was strange. Okay. That puts off a little bit, but it's not radiating enough for that to be a problem. Nope, there's high level EMF in here. Look at this. Step out of the threshold of the doorway there, and then right when you step in, that's like a 2.0, 2.5. The further you go, it's getting higher. This whole room has high EMF. About, there we go, 3.3, 3.0. Oh, temperature's changed now. That's interesting. It's about waist high. You get levels of EMF in here. It's probably from the basement. There's probably wiring in here.
It is known that your brain can be affected by magnetic fields. So if you're in an area where there's a magnetic anomaly and you're hypersensitive to it, it might cause you to have a sense of dread, or you might think that you're seeing something that you're not normally seeing. We've seen this with, of course, with hyper low frequencies, which can cause a jitter in your eye. And so you kind of think you are catching an image off the side of your vision. In the same way, a magnetic anomaly might affect certain people. For most people, they probably would never detect it. But for some people, they may be able to detect that anomaly and perceive it in an odd way. You have to remember, your brain is interpreting the universe through its various sensors. So while you think that this is what the universe looks like to you, this is just what your vision, your audio, your sense of touch and smell are telling you about the world.
So right now, as you can see, I'm at a 0.5. And once I turn this EM pump on, we're jumping up to, the closer you get, we're up in the 30s, 40s. So we're gonna let this run and see if we can't pump some energy in here for this guy.
We were getting temperature changes here in the hallway.
What do I do next?
This is going off way more than it was before, guys.
Gotta have fun, dog.
Oh, more pressure changes. It's going off like crazy now.
Yeah.
Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa.
Just James' room? Keep playing, Kevin.
Whoa. This EDI in the hallway is going nuts. Absolutely crazy right now. At the Talbot Tavern, we tested the theory that pumping high levels of electromagnetic radiation into the environment would spur on unexplained activity. During this experiment, not only did we document drastic changes in temperature and pressure, we also recorded photon events in conjunction with these environmental changes.
You got to remember, what is your environment? So of course, in science, our methodology is the observer affects the results of an experiment. It's an absolutism. Whether you're looking at a double slit experiment and a single slit experiment, it's the idea that the very act of observing has an effect. So when you think you see something, then the methodology would be, okay, how do we narrow it down?
Mustafa conducted a solo investigation in an attempt to initiate contact with the spirit of Maud.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Mustafa. I came here with my team to document your presence, Chris and Tara, and the folks who come here, children who visit here, and the people who do a lot of wonderful artwork all over this. People do wonderful artwork in this building. They love this place very much. And the folks here do have a lot of respect for the Girdler family and other folks who have visited this home and lived here. Is there a member of the Girdler family here with us? Or anybody? If so, could you interact with that device I have on that mantle? There's also other ones in the room adjacent to here on the table. It's a green box and a white egg-shaped device. Okay, jumped up to 1.8 milligauss. Could you interact with that box near the machine again? Could you hit it, please? Touch it? Staying steady at 1.6. I'm not really seeing any fluctuations. It's going back down.
When I was talking with Tara, I asked her about her experience multiple times. And the first time she relayed the story, she said she was just going in and getting her laptop and her stuff and collecting it and leaving the house. But the second time, she said when she walked into the home alone, she kind of got the feeling or the sense that like, ooh, something's not right about this. And then that's when she experienced that paralyzing fear. Could it be that walking into the house, she already kind of had a subconscious fear of like going in alone, and then that was like manifesting itself?
Fear really isn't a virus that can spread from person to person. We've actually done experiments to prove that if you put someone in an environment and have one person be very afraid, they can actually spread that. Say a dark forest that starts to be filled with fog, and you start to hear weird noises, everyone becomes afraid.
Right now we have Malia upstairs walking by herself, and what we're trying to do is test this theory about, does fear kind of permeate the environment? Does, a belief of something scary or the fear within itself, does it somehow change the environment? So I'm not trying to torture Malia here, it's not the point, but what we're trying to do is see if her anxieties and her fear of being up there alone, if that will change the environment. If we get some kind of environmental changes within that, it would be, an interesting test for the theory. So if there's data associated with that, it'll be a win. So hopefully it goes well. So we'll see.
Okay. We're fine.
Oh shit. Okay. Somebody in here with me? Hi. Guys, I'm getting a lot of hits in this room. I'm getting hits.
Sweetie, you good?
Yeah. Are you here? I'm getting that heat again.
What was that?
Okay. Is anybody in here? Hey guys.
Yes.
I'm like getting really lightheaded.
Okay, let's get you down.
Can I get a little bit of a light on the
Yep,
stairs?
I got
don't
you.
wanna. It's weird. I'm okay on this.
okay?
I'm okay here. Every time I've tried to cross this threshold, I get a fucking head wave. I'm talking like full spin.
Oh my gosh! And how far did you get?
I get to about like past right here.
And it happens.
Yeah,
Okay.
like full spin. It's really weird, but I wasn't getting anything else left. Like once you guys
Okay.
left, I wasn't getting anything else in that room or up here at all.
Let's get you down then.
I'm getting a little spooked out here by myself right now. Like chills up and down my back, but I think it's because I'm thinking of that happening right now.
Let's see the paintings fly fall. Damn. Whoosh. The paintings flying out. It's so bright up there. Oh my goodness.
It is bright.
Doesn't make for good cinematography, that's for sure.
Oh boy.
What was that? What was that?
Well, I was switching between the rooms, and we went up to the upstairs room, and we were both commenting that it's just way too bright up there. And then I switched over, and the light fell almost like within a few seconds. It was quite dramatic. Now, of course, is that a psychic premonition? Is it the ghost trying to say, okay, you don't like it up there? I'll take it down. Or is it just the tape finally wore off? Who can say?
Except for some strange coincidences, we didn't document any empirical data or evidence of paranormal phenomena at the Shine House. Our methodology and research has led us to collect many pieces of inexplicable data over a span of 17 years. With the help of renowned scientist Dr. Harry Clore, our hope is to advance paranormal research, edging it closer to a legitimate empirical discipline and out of the shadows of pseudoscience. As our research evolves and our theories expand, Dr. Clore's guidance will aid our journey into uncharted territory as we work to further define the elements of a haunting. Over the next few cases, Dr. Clore will join us in the field as we continue our expedition to uncover new haunted discoveries.
All right, so right now, Brandon is sending me to the top of a mountain to look for a cemetery. So now we're just practically climbing up this hill because it's wet, leafy, and super steep. Oh, I see the headstone. Let's do some of this stuff here. R-O-B-T.
Robert
Chestnut. Robert Chestnut.
P or R? That is R-O-B-T.
That's it.
All right, so Chestnut House, Malia, what do you know about this really spooky location?
It's interesting, so I think this is one of our oldest locations for sure as far as a house, built in the 1830s. And what's also really unique about it is if we're talking about familial history, this place allegedly has 20 generations of the Chestnut family, which there's no way any of our other locations have come close to that kind of generational in one family legacy. So built by Samuel Chestnut, one of the pioneers of the area, and he has a wife, Rachel, and the fun thing about him is allegedly he died in a duel over a Kentucky horse race, which feels very Kentucky, very on brand. So Samuel dies, it passes to his son, William, or Billy Chestnut, who's our first William Chestnut. There's a lot of duplicate names in this family, which is very confusing. And he has 8 children, so quite a lot. And then they fall on hard times, which is very typical of stories like this, and the property gets sold. They get split amongst. But one of his sons, Isaac, ends up repurchasing all of the property, and it's brought back into the family. What's fascinating about that is Isaac is really the reason why the Chestnut House still exists, as far as being called the Chestnut House. But everybody talks about his brother Bob, or Captain Bob Chestnut, or the Sexton Creek Cowboy, even though he rarely lived at the house. And he's an interesting character.
The biggest claim at the Chestnut House that we were told was this woman in white, right? But that's like typical. There's so many different places, so many like different investigations we've been on where folks have reported to see this woman in white, right? And it doesn't matter where you go. It's always like a woman in white here, a woman in white there. But what's cool about this spot, and it's interesting for us, and you know, a lot of the research we've done on the region and the environment, is that it occurs outdoors, right? In the barn area. What's right next to that barn, when we look it up on a nice little map, is that it's right next to this creek, and there's running water there, and there's limestone. So paranormal theory is that limestone kind of like retains memory, running water ramps up activity. So if we put on like our whoa, ghost theory hat, is the energy of this woman in white being trapped in the limestone, and is she emerging from the river, right? And like her spirit, and she's like walking through the barn, or is there a completely rational explanation? What do you think, Doc?
Well, one, if your theory is correct, we should see a lot of EMF signature, because you're seeing the lady in white with your eyes on a camera, which are photonic events. So I'd expect if there was any sort of energy signature, it should register quite strongly. As you said, there's many reports of lady in white all around the world. In this case, we're in a farmland area. I would expect that it could be caused by fog, could be caused by reflection off of water. It rains a lot in this area. It also could be caused by animal life, or even reflections off of trees. And I guess we'll find out once we get there.
My name's Kevin Clary. We're in the Chestnut House in Chestnutburg, Kentucky. It's an amazing house. It's an amazing location. It's just peace and happiness is what it is for me. It's peace and happiness. There's a lot of people that are scared of the house. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that don't want to go in the house. They don't want to drive by the house. They see a girl in white out in the back. They hear piano music. They hear, there's all kinds of weird things going on that everybody's been scared of it since. And if I was a ghost, I mean, you drive by this house and you look at this house, and it's a scary house. There's a lot of stories in the ghost, and there's a lot of stories about the house itself with weird things going on. And, so it all kind of, but I believe maybe it did scare people off. People see figures in the windows and just all kinds of, they claim, which I've never tried it, but there's the lights. If you look at the lights, they're fine. But if you take a picture of the lights, they flash. They say she comes out about midnight, after midnight, and she walks between the back of the house and the barn. And I don't know, probably at least 50 or 100 people have told me that they've seen this woman in white walking between the house and the barn. Bob Chestnut would be the number one from back in the day, because he was just, they'll say it was a little, when he got back here after the war, when he got back here, he was just a little crazy. He said the kids he would love to scare the kids. I mean, scare the bejeebers out of them. I spoke to someone the other day who was a relative who's related to Chestnuts. He is, but he said the relative of his hated to come to see Bob Chestnut because he would scare the shit out. He was such a mean son of a bitch when he came back here. He was so mean. He was just so scary that nobody wanted to come visit him.
All right, Melina, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and telling us your relationship with the Chestnut House.
I'm Melina Henson. I've been coming down here a few months, doing a couple investigations.
This house is shrouded in so much mystery, so much controversy. A lot of people from my research can't really agree on the exact history of the family, and you said you've been coming here for a couple months. What brought you here initially?
I just saw an ad for a paranormal investigation that they were doing here.
And what was your first thought when you saw this house? Because it scared the crap out of me when I first saw it.
Well, I've lived in the area most of my life, so I've been by the house a million times.
Okay.
I always liked the house. I just never got to come in it until a few months ago. A lot of people are afraid to even come in this house. Nobody can really agree on when the house was built or who started the house. You'll hear about a lady in white outside a lot. I've heard stories of everything from men outside, ghosts of animals.
Okay.
Around here. There's a horse, it's supposed to be a spirit of a horse around here.
What has been things that you've experienced firsthand?
You'll hear people in spirit box sessions. I've heard a man, a woman, a kid. A lady told me that her daughter would talk to a little girl in this yard all the time named Hannah.
Oh.
I haven't been able to find any Hannah in the paperwork, but she said her little girl talked to a little girl named Hannah in this yard for years. Every now and then you'll hear somebody walking around. There's no one in the house. I've not seen anything inside the house, but I thought I saw something outside one night.
So you explore these places with people because you're smart and, you like to have backup. But would you ever investigate the Chestnut House by yourself, completely alone?
No.
No.
It's a little creepy in here by yourself. I've spent the night in here, but not by myself.
Okay.
I don't think I want to stand here by myself.
So, Tanya, you lived here your whole life, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, and then where are we right now?
At the old Chestnut House.
This place is spooky.
I've just heard stories, and I was born 1976, 2 houses down. My mom had me down there, and she lived there a few years. She saw all kinds of stuff. Never did talk about it.
She saw all kinds of stuff here.
Yes, through the windows.
Like, what stories would you hear? Would you guys, when you were kids, like dare each other to go inside and stuff?
My mom had seen, there was no electricity here, and she would see lights on.
People would talk about it in town or stuff, or like when you started bringing it up and like you saw stuff yourself and like she's like, oh yeah, we've been like, everybody's known that.
Yes. When I was little, I was always afraid to even come over here.
So this was like the neighborhood haunted house. Like,
yes. Always.
Really?
It's always been that way.
And it's my understanding that you got some photos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why don't you, let's take a look at them right now. I want to see them.
I was actually sitting in my truck and was just snapping photos of the outside of the house. And this one here, it's got an image in it of the outside.
Yeah, so like all of this is like, okay, cool, you got the lights and everything, but
outside there's no lights.
What's that black figure over here?
That's what was in the photo.
And that was like taken right there, right?
It was taken there, and I took this shot here, and I zoomed it up a little, and the photo is even creepier.
Yeah, because if I wasn't standing right here, I would think that was like a water tank or like a tree or something, and it's like, there's nothing there.
You know, when it comes to belief in hauntings and the paranormal, there's always a lot of perception associated with creepy buildings, right? The look of a dilapidated structure, a home built in the 1800s, pre-1900s even. But this particular house, the Chestnut House, has a very specific look. Even if you're someone that's not a paratourist or someone that watches the shows or believes in the paranormal, you go past a house like this and it's gonna give you haunted house vibes, for sure.
When you're investigating a case like this, you have to kind of remove yourself from that and really, put yourself in a mindset that just because a building looks a certain way doesn't mean it actually has paranormal phenomena.
All right, so we got cows out here, and there's that black cow over there. But what we're seeing in that photo, I mean, the cows are here, they're behind a fence, and what we're seeing in that photo doesn't look anything like this black cow out here.
The decrepit nature of the location that we're currently in, even as you approach the house, you see this creepy white structure that's been decaying probably for a century or more. And it creates a sense of foreboding in you. As you enter the house, you find big gaping holes in the floor. Everything is very creepy and decayed. It's an ideal environment to create in your mind the idea that something nasty is lurking around the corner. And this is a primary reason why, if you're in a location like this, you may begin to feel like you hear something or see something. It's the very nature of the human mind to look for dangers. And in a place like this, you're going to start imagining all kinds of spiritual and demonic entities around every corner. Your senses will become hypersensitive. So you'll hear things that you wouldn't normally hear because you're no longer filtering out the smallest sounds. And any sort of flicker or shadow is going to grab your attention.
So I know you did an investigation at the Chestnut House, and I'm assuming that's with other people, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Would you ever investigate it completely alone at night?
Alone? No. No. If somebody was with me, yes.
Yeah?
I would definitely stay overnight.
Why wouldn't you do it alone?
I'm not going in there by myself. No. Not after what I've seen.
Kevin heads to the old Pioneer Cemetery to try and locate the lost grave of Bob Chestnut. Our expectations in doing so were low, as the final resting place of the Sexton Creek cowboy has remained a mystery for over 100 years.
So now we're just practically climbing up this hill because it's wet, leafy, super steep. Oh, I see the headstone. Let's do some of this stuff here. R-O-B-T
Robert
Chestnut. Robert
No,
Chestnut.
P or R? That is R-O-B-T.
Kevin clears away fallen tree branches and leaves, covering a headstone they think may belong to the infamous Bob Chestnut. Remarkably it is. This moment captures the first time his grave has probably been seen by human eyes this century. Could locating his headstone have an effect on our investigation?
Okay, I got this cleaned off a little bit more. Robert Chestnut, born July 31st, 1835, died October 18th, 1912. Hero of the Plains. Wagon Master, 1858, 1869. Cowboy in T-E-Z-A-S, 1870 to 1885.
What's that called in the bottom?
Hero of the Plains, Wagon Master,
That's him.
1858 to 1869.
Carved in the bottom here. It's a curve showing the stuff.
It looks like it's just a
Yes,
piece
the
of
curve,
the,
exactly. And on the top is something up there's something up here. Huh. Oh, that's a trail ladder thing. Look at that. Wow, it's a small stone, but for that time, look at that. It's him on a horse. There's somebody on a horse, right? Look at that.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's Bob Chestnut on a horse. It's not bucking bronco, but it's a horse. Huh. He's got his gun. His gun's coming out the side here. He's shooting at something. Damn it. Must put it back. See him pull it out. It looks like he's shooting at something. Something's over on the side. Okay. Some little piece of paper, serious. There's his gun, right? I can't see.
How long have you been looking for that?
They've been looking for it for a long 100 years. They can't find it. They couldn't find it.
We just found it.
Yeah. Just amazing.
So it's pretty wild to find something off a hill that people have been looking for over 100 years. And it's just right there, and we just almost just walked right to it.
With my historical hat, part of me really doesn't think that it'd be Bob Chestnut here, okay? He really didn't spend all that much time here. He's just the person we think of when we think of the Chestnut family, because there's much more talked about when it comes to Bob.
Assholes get attention. If I were to, tell everybody to go screw themselves right now and start pointing fingers at people and just causing a ruckus, I think that all eyes would be on me, and the same goes for anybody. And someone like Bob Chestnut, when you look into the history of this home, compared to what his brother Ike accomplished, it's kind of crazy that Bob gets more words dedicated to him, gets more attention drawn towards him, and that's because of his turgid, overblown persona. But Ike was an extremely accomplished individual. I don't know, something in my gut just tells me that has something to do with the activity here.
Dr. Clore and Kevin set up a motion sensor near the barn to investigate claims of a woman in white. Several people have claimed a witness on the Chestnut property.
Alert Stone 1.
Works, baby.
Alert Stone 1.
All right, cool. We didn't break it.
Alert Stone
1. Okay, we are good to go. Thank you.
Copy that. Is in the barn. Now I'm inside the door facing the back right corner of the barn.
When we were walking up this way, did you see the truck when it drove by? If you looked behind the barn, you saw an apparition sort of move through glimpses in the breaks in the barn, because it was just the light reflecting off of the grass.
Okay.
So you might want to try to simulate that.
I wonder if I could go out and maybe shine a flashlight through the creases or something like that and see if we can
I
maybe...
think it's just along the roadside.
Oh, just along the roadside.
But I think you need a pretty bright light.
All right, Malia, we're gonna go ahead and get this going for you.
Cool.
So again, we have the second floor with a control camera, the entirety of that landing up there.
Yeah.
And also this room down here that you really like.
Yeah.
So this would be the room that Bob Chestnut stayed in.
Yeah,
right?
and that's where the funerals, or at least the caskets were laid out.
Right.
That's
So-
what we've been told. Again, there's so much. A lot of this is just on the words of what's been passed down. None of it is in documentation, but I think that's the story that's been continuously repeated, so I think it's on pretty good authority.
Just make sure this is on. Yep, there you go. Don't want to look into that directly with my eyes.
It looks like, I think it's on, yeah?
Yeah, it's on. If you anything happens, let us know, okay?
Cool, great, thank you. Whoa.
You all right?
Yep, just uneven floors.
Now, of course, you're hearing the cows, right?
Correct.
So when here earlier today, Mustafa and I were chatting. I said, too bad there aren't any white cows, because that would be another explanation for the lady in white. And as it turns out, those brown cows, there's one that's all white in the front and white in the chest. And then 3 or 4 of the other cows are all white-headed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also possible that under the conditions, light hitting those cows in a very dark sort of night, say no moon, you might also think that is a lady in white, especially from a distance.
All right.
Malia conducts a solo session on the second floor to try and initiate contact with the house's purported spirits. Witnesses claim to hear footsteps and disembodied voices in this area.
What is that? Gotta be really careful walking around here, just because pretty much is an active construction site. First of all, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Malia.
Thank you for welcoming us into your home. We mean no disrespect at all. We are just here because we are hoping to document some of your presence.
But that bright light may be reflecting off the front of a cow. Even right here where you can see it's kind of light. Could maybe give that
Of course, the cows are not there right now. Well, there's the headless horse.
Where is the headless horse seen?
That's a good question.
Could that also be a black cow walking with his head down?
Well, it could be.
If there's anybody up here with me right now, would you make yourself known by gonna set this box right here on this tub of God knows what. And if you're here, you can go ahead and touch the box just like that. And I'll know you're here with us. I literally think I just saw like a shadow cross this light in here. Let me see. I didn't walk in this room earlier. Is there anybody in this room with me right now? Hold on. Somebody? Guys?
Yeah.
Did somebody just try to walk up the stairs?
No.
What the fuck?
I'm in the room down here where the bear is, but I'm not upstairs.
What did you hear?
I heard it literally sounded like footsteps on the stairs.
Which one, this back one or the...
I honestly can't tell because it was in a front bedroom, but I thought one of you guys were coming up.
No.
And do you want to walk in and out of the room to see if that creates the same effect?
I'm walking right now.
Oh yeah, can you do it one more time?
I'm walking, I'm continuing to walk.
Hold on, I'm gonna go to the other room again one more time. I'll tell you when I'm... Wait, hold on, what the fuck was that? Okay, never mind. Sorry, false alarm.
I'm still walking.
I'll tell you when I'm in the other room.
Okay. Keep walking, Brando.
Can you walk in that room again?
I'm walking.
Yeah, no, it was footsteps on the stairs, 100%.
Yeah, like there's carpet in here. It's not loud at all. Even right here, listen.
I think it might be the attic stairs, guys. Holy shit.
You okay?
Did one of you guys just whisper?
No. No.
Oh, fucking balls, fuck.
What'd you hear?
I heard it felt like a female. Oh my god, sorry, I'm like wigging out so fucking bad. I feel like it was like something here. Hold on. I'm gonna grab this. Holy fuck.
Malia captures a whisper on her audio device.
Holy shit.
I found something very interesting.
What you got?
So, well, you guys over here, since I was left over there in the dark, I was watching and I was like, it's really dark over there. And then suddenly it became really bright again. And then it got dark. Depending on the wind, the light over there, the tree moves, it blocks some of the light. So the field becomes either lighter or darker.
Well, that's one of the claims they hear here.
The footsteps?
One of the claims is that they hear footsteps in here all the time. I just attributed it to being like an old creaky
Me
house.
too. But it had the distinct, like, you know how like the pitch changes when you're going up or downstairs?
Like a purposeful step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that I've never heard a whisper before.
What was it? Which year?
This one. And I was literally, I had this up there and I was standing here and I heard it right here. Because I was listening, I literally was like listening this way and I kind of almost sounded like I could hear a little. But I was like listening.
Who are you talking about?
Dr. Morgan's illegitimate son. It was a story I was told. I don't know how much truth there is.
Yeah.
But essentially, the 10 years in which the Chestnuts didn't own it, when they had to sell it, a guy named Dr. Morgan lived here with like his servant and his wife. He had kids with the wife and apparently a kid with the servant. The wife didn't want to have the illegitimate son living in the house, so she made him live in the attic.
Okay.
That's the story that was told.
The whisper was really freaky. Careful.
Do you want this?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Got it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's so weird that I haven't gotten any pressure hits or any temperature changes at all, like no fluctuation at all.
Pressure.
Pressure?
Got it on camera.
What?
If you did that, interacted with that box and caused that light to go off, could you do that again, please? Feeling a little lightheaded. Maybe I'm just excited.
I think there's something going on in the attic, to be honest.
If you did that on the device, could you do that again, please? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Did it a bunch of times.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
I heard that you are hearing noises.
Yeah, Malia said that she heard footsteps on this stairwell. So I think she was kind of freaked out from going up in the attic. So I kind of just poked my head in up there, put the EDI up there, and then we registered a bunch of pressure aberrations. You're just going right up?
Yep.
It's okay? You feel, you feel okay going on those planks?
It's fine.
You sure? If we fall through, I'm blaming you, dude.
Well, I'm staying next to the wall where I have more faith.
No. God damn.
Yeah, I know it seems more dangerous, but it's safer.
It probably would make sense to go if you get like a barometer up here, right? And you're changing the elevation. Maybe like the environmental conditions in this room are a little different. So pressure to change, right? Once it gets acclimated.
So what I find interesting is, of course, chimney goes right through here.
Okay.
So depending upon what wind is blowing, could create a variety of sound effects.
Yeah, the sound. So she was getting freaked out, and it was just like when I came up here, then I put this up, and then I was like asking, like, hey, you know, can you interact with this device? And then after a few minutes, we started getting pressure changes.
Right. And of course, you would also get pressure changes if wind was blowing in and out. So we're at the barn,
Yeah.
and there were some pretty heavy gusts of wind.
Really?
And then the ceiling starts going.
So it was a ghost.
Yeah, of course it was. The ghost was the thing that was causing the wind. Come on.
Oh, I knew it.
Hey, we can explain it one way or the other. It's fine.
Nah, but
How do you know it wasn't a ghostly wind?
It probably was. It was a ghost that was causing it. Got some mutant ghost, dude, and changed weather. Oh man.
I wonder if I should walk across this.
I don't think you should, man. Oh my God, no, Doc, please, you're freaking me out, man. God, you got such.
What's the other thing that's interesting is how many toilets are up here.
Yeah, I used one of them, so watch out, okay? Just let you know. Stay away from the green one. I'm partial to that color.
They're both, well, one's green, one's blue.
It wasn't green before. It was. Oh.
There's a lot up here. If we walk around, it's not even going to create a footstep sound.
Yeah, right? That's what I was thinking, but she said it was distinctly on these steps, right? You guys hear those footsteps down there?
I can hear that, yeah.
Is that what it sounded like?
That's exactly what it sounded like, but I was in the next room over, so I literally thought you guys. The thing is, it didn't sound like it was going down. It sounded like it was going up. You know, there's a different sound.
Yeah.
It had an up sound, not a down sound. That's why I asked if you guys were coming up.
I think this bedroom.
Of course, now if you stand here,
Yeah.
you get a very strong wind.
Uh-huh.
So, wind can blow into your ear depending upon your hair and other things. Like now it stopped. It was like now it's starting again.
Okay, let's see how sensitive to wind this thing is.
Very sensitive.
I don't even blow that hard. I mean, I've been called to blow hard, but I don't even blow that hard. So if that window's open and then wind comes over here, it'll probably move that chandelier like that.
Well, I don't know about what caused the footsteps.
Yeah. Footsteps is kind of weird. I will tell you though, it was fun seeing her freak out on camera about it, I gotta tell you. And then Brandon said he heard footsteps in here, but what I noticed was when the wind was blowing on that window over there, right? This is sketch as shit, watch out.
The hole in the floor.
But when the wind was blowing, it was like you could hear this creaking. Plus, just like you pointed out, coming up the chimney, maybe that, I don't know.
Yeah, and you got a pit right there. No, that's.
What are you talking about?
That's rotted through. Actually,
I'm chicken, dude?
this room's probably more dangerous than the attic.
Yeah. I like that this is where the bedroom is though, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Big. Jesus.
Careful.
Maybe that should be an off-limits room.
Yeah. Literally, we just heard like stuff came down.
Guys.
Yo.
You want to get out of that room?
Yeah, we're getting out right now.
It started caving in a little bit. We could see it down here.
You serious?
I swear.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It went. It's really sketchy.
Like dust came down.
Yeah, it was
to get out of there.
Close. That's what I'm saying. This is
Sketch City.
Sketchy.
So, you know, the biggest danger is the house. Like
Yeah,
you said.
exactly.
In this case, the house definitely is the lead character.
All right, Mustafa and I are headed down to the barn area in this kind of pasture, this open space out here where they say they see this woman in white. We're taking the EMCCD camera. We're gonna run a test, see if we can capture this woman in white that they say they see. And not only that, we're gonna take a trip down to the creek over here as well and just kind of do a run with the EMCCD and see exactly what happens.
Yeah, plus we were talking a lot about like how limestone retains energy, and the water over here that runs, the water runs all over limestone. So if there is energy being stored in this limestone, we're gonna find it in the river, and then maybe it'll come out in a photon event on the EMCCD.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens. Nothing's gone off of that motion detector in there, huh?
Nope. It was working too.
Yeah.
So
this is where they report seeing the lady in white. Brandon's setting up the EMCCD camera. We got our nice little screen here, so if we see anything cool in real time, we'll catch it. And we can also record it because Brandon's got a fat hard drive on that bad boy.
So again, Mustafa and I right now are out at the barn here on the property of the Chestnut House, and they say they see this woman in white, not only at this barn, but in this field here, but also along the stream. So we're recording now on the EMCCD camera, hoping we can find maybe this woman in white, or if we can find a natural explanation for it as well. That'd be great.
I'm gonna take the EDI. It's got the vibration sensor.
Do you have your walkie just in
I
case
have my
shit
walkie.
gets wheel?
You thought you heard footsteps on the stairs going up to the attic?
Yes.
So I'm gonna set this on there. I'm gonna turn on the vibration detector, and that way if anything comes, wish me luck.
Yep. Walkie me if stuff gets crazy. And I'm gonna keep an eye on our control cameras, and if like the motion detector down here, for example, goes off, I'll let you know.
Sounds good.
Have a good time.
See if I can find Bob Chestnut.
We found a lot of practical reasons into the phenomena that people think that they're experiencing in the house while we're investigating there before. But if we're putting like our paranormal theorist hat on right now, if you consider like the environmental conditions, the running water, which everybody thinks ramps up activity, the limestone, you know, the minerals in the earth, is possibly that energy being retained and walking, you know, the fields? Or is it just, you know, a visual anomaly that people see, you know, lights reflecting off of the trees when people drive by?
Right, exactly. You know, the crazy thing to me is like a lot of people associate a lot of the, you know, stories in history with Bob Chestnut, right?
Yeah.
So I'm currently in the attic at the Chestnut House. A little creepy up here.
Malia delved into the history, and if you think about it, you know, like she said, Bob Chestnut, he didn't really come to the house that much. He didn't spend that much time here. And if you want to go back into that time period, who's gonna be at home the most? Who's gonna have the biggest stake in this house? It's probably gonna be the women of the Chestnut family.
Good evening. My name's Kevin. I'm not here to disturb you in any way or try to cause you any harm or anything like that. I just come here tonight in hopes to document your presence.
Photon event?
Something just like came across there.
Another
Oh,
one.
right there, yeah.
That had like an energy source. That's kind of like what we saw
Yeah.
in the previous case.
Very similar.
Hey, Kevin?
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of sound coming from the room that I told you not to go into. Like, I just switched my camera over because it sounds like I'm hearing movement and you hadn't walked.
If anybody's in the bedroom, actually, I'm gonna set the motion detector facing in there. Are you upstairs?
What was that?
That wasn't you?
No, it wasn't. I fucking heard it too.
Where'd it come from?
I can't tell. It almost sounded like nothing's going on in the room with the motion detector, but that was weird.
It wasn't outside?
No. Definitely not. Is there somebody down here?
It's kind of crazy out here, though. I'll tell you, man. It's. I don't know if it's the area we're in or what, but it does have an unwelcoming vibe out here, in a sense, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got this spooky-looking forest over here, and a dilapidated barn, that creek, the gnarly trees. I mean, even Doc, who's like not shook or anything, but even he was pointing out during the daytime, like, you know, you have these telephone posts and like these like gnarled kind of like horror movie vines all wrapped up around it. So all of that kind of creates the perfect element of a perceived haunting.
That's true. It's true.
Is someone downstairs with Malia? If so, go touch that device and make it light up. Where are you at up here? Can you make a noise in whatever room that you're in?
At the barn, Dr. Clore shows Malia the photo he captured while observing the field where the lady in white is claimed to be seen.
So, you know, earlier today, in the evening, we came out to see if we could figure out perhaps where the lady in white comes from. So we came over here, and I took a range of photos, and we're thinking it's perhaps the cow.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until later that I went and started to investigate the pictures we took.
Whoa, what the hell?
And it looks very much like a lady in white. So it looks like she's like extending her hands out
Yeah.
and walking across the field.
What?
But it definitely isn't a cow because the cow is actually way over here.
Oh, okay.
So I think most places would say, look, we did capture accidentally the lady in white.
Yeah.
What the truth is, of course, is that's what a normal camera would see. Now, this is what the iPhone sees. And so now if we look in, it looks like a figure raising its hands, but we can figure out what it is. It's actually the tree.
It's the tree.
So the light hits the tree, and especially when the wind is blowing, then the tree limbs will move around, and you'll see it. So we think that this is actually what really people are likely seeing is your human eye doesn't see that way. Your human eye is going to see the much darker image that I was showing before.
That's crazy.
It's the very nature of the human mind to look for dangers. And in a place like this, you're going to start imagining all kinds of spiritual and demonic entities around every corner.
You know, one of the biggest reasons I got involved in the paranormal is historical preservation, trying to save buildings just like this one. And seeing that this place is being renovated and being brought back to its former glory is very exciting to see.
Historically speaking, I think it's far more likely that it's Rachel or Isaac Chestnut that would still be around here because this is where they raised their families. I think they really loved this land. They protected this land.
You talk a lot about names and reputation, and if you think about it, that's all you really have you know, after you're dead. What's in a name, right? Bob Chestnut created a name for himself, but it was founded on lies.
The Chestnut House is as mysterious as its history suggests. The unexplained footsteps and disembodied voice collected by Malia are beyond explanation, even if the property's other ghostly claims are easily discounted. What was most exciting was uncovering the lost grave of the Sexton Creek cowboy. Bob Chestnut's mythos continues to grow, along with our questions surrounding this spooky location.
People talk about Perryville's Civil War history because that's what we're the best known for, but we were one of the early stations in Kentucky, and one of the early settlers here was a fellow by the name of James Harbison. They had Harbison's Fort, and behind this house was a cave, and the cave was the center of the fort. So this house is sitting in the original place where the original Harbison's Fort was. James Harbison and his son-in-law and another man was out in the fields right across the river here plowing corn. And an Indian raiding party came in and killed him and his son-in-law. James's head was dismembered from his body, and they brought it back to his wife. She put it in a crock jar and preserved it, hoping someday to find the rest of his body. You know, we have a lot of paranormal activity here. The head is buried in the cemetery on top of the hill.
Being a huge Civil War buff, I'm really excited about this case. I've been in Cheatham, I've been to Gettysburg, I've been to Vicksburg, but I've never been to Perryville. I've read a lot about it. Crazy scenario, crazy battle. What do you know about it, Malia?
I mean, it is a crazy battle. You're absolutely right. It was one of the largest and one of the last battles actually fought in Kentucky. The most Confederate officers died in this battle. It was so bloody, the river actually ran red with blood, which is quite an image. And what I think is really interesting about this one in particular was it was very bloody, very deadly, but only around 1,500 soldiers actually died on the battlefield. But in total, over 7,000 would die from wounds.
Yeah, I think for me, what really stands out about this is a lot of people want to think about the battle, right? The day where everybody died, and that's like the day everything changed. So people are gonna, you know, come up with ghost stories maybe about, you know, they hear gunshots and gunfire and all that. But if you want to think about the haunting of the place, right? A lot of the activity that we found in places always have that kind of long-standing life. There's been a lot of cases where the activity seems to be tied to individuals who stayed at a place in a long time, people who've like undergone hardship, right? And they had to endure that. That's the story of Perryville for me. You had a bunch of these soldiers who were displaced and had to basically sit there and reconstruct their whole lives. The town had to be rebuilt.
So for me, this town is very exciting to get here and actually just talk to the citizens, because just from what you've both said, there's a strong psychological element into this town. The fact that it's the bloodiest battle, it all fought in one day, the river ran red. So I think in people's minds, there's an expectation that there should be something supernatural going on. And I think it's also an expectation of ghost mythology that's tied into these sort of events. So for me, it's really perhaps a area where psychological events and group hysteria is taking place. And so people, even in a fun way, it's not group hysteria in terms of a negative thing, but in terms of the whole environment of this town, it embraces its haunting aspect. And I think that will help stimulate people at nighttime, especially if they hear something weird or there's a weird reflection, to think that they've seen a ghost.
All right, Allie, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and telling us your relationship and association with the Carrick Park House.
I'm Allie Huff, and I'm the Executive Director of Main Street Perryville, and we own the Carrick Parks House, the organization does.
So as a Perryville resident, I'm just curious, in your opinion, what was your first, impression of the Carrick Parks house?
It's quite grand. From the outside looking to it, you just wonder what happened here and who lived here and what was the story behind it. The first time I came in here, one, it's the state of the house can be a little devastating seeing it at first. But just knowing the people who lived here and the history that happened here, it's so intriguing. And this is the house people want to know about. This is where they want to come. This is where they want to tour, and they want to know what's happening here. And so, not only residents but visitors too. This is the place that people want to see.
It's unbelievable. So we're talking a couple hundred years almost this house has been standing, which is a real testament to this building. And I really want to delve into the history because I'm a history nerd. I love it. And the history here is incredible. So, the house is bought by James Carrick. He's a 2-time widower. He is now married to Harriet, who herself was a widow. I'm just curious, what do you know about these people?
They were also, a pretty prominent family, and they owned the Parks General Store downtown, and they were here for generations, all the way up to 1970s.
And I know that most of the houses here during the one-day battle, and more importantly, the subsequent year after the battle, the people that lived here, they didn't really get to live in their homes. They kind of got to live in their homes, but their homes were also, inhabited by soldiers, officers, doctors, and I believe this house was where all the doctors slept, correct?
Yes.
And then up the street is where one of the field hospitals was. One of the things that really stuck out to me was when that family did return after the battle, because they had to leave. The house was pretty okay, but they said all their stuff had been rifled through, probably looking for money or supplies. But what makes me really sad about it is Harriet supposedly was haunted for the rest of her life by what she saw. She talked about returning and having to step over dead bodies. The river was running red with blood, which is such a wicked imagery. You would never forget that.
Yeah.
Do you believe in the paranormal?
I didn't at first, but the longer I'm in this role and the more that we spend time in these homes, the more things happen that, we can't explain.
Have you experienced anything in this house?
There have been, there's some bureaus and wardrobes upstairs that just about every time I come here, I have to close the drawers. The doors seem to open frequently, but the drawers seem to open, and every time I come, I have to just close them back up. It's been a big job, but it's been fun. There's living history happening here, even though a lot of the buildings seem closed and sad, but when you walk into them, they don't seem that way. They seem alive and ready for people to see them, and so that's been a major part of our job is to raise the money to get these places restored so people can come in and enjoy the history that we're also blessed to live in.
In your line of work, you really do get to bring a lot of people into the fold. And as a person that moved to town and then took on this role, have you met a lot of people that have had stories about the house, or do you find that people, are coming to you with oh, have you heard this about such and such place?
Oh yes, there is generations worth of stories of a young girl in a white dress upstairs in the windows. Grandfathers, then their sons, and then now their sons are finding they all have the same story driving by, and a young girl in a white dress is upstairs. Who she is, we're not really sure. It's not been as frequent recently with, trying to save the home and its belongings with keeping the sun out. People aren't speaking of her as much, but generations talk about her, and that's that's one of the biggest, most common stories that we have. There's a story of a doctor here who was here during the Civil War, and he just literally worked himself to death. Letters between him and his wife, and she's begging him to come home, and he says, "I cannot leave these men." And he died in the house from just being overworked. And we have recently had people seeing a doctor in this room here. And so that's been a frequent a more recent one that people have been talking about.
The room that the girl is most frequently seen in, is that the same room where the drawers and the wardrobe keep opening?
Yes. Yes, it's the sort of top right room of the house if you're looking at it. The drawers in that room, but then also she is seen coming, you know, if you're driving down the road, you can see her looking out the window.
My name's Harold Edwards. I'm native Paravillian. I've been here, I think, since I've been in the world. My family settled here in 1782, so we're several generations in this area. You know, we have a lot of paranormal activity here, and we saw an opportunity to share that with people, raise money for our Main Street program so that we can preserve houses like this and those historic buildings and other things. But we've had a lot of stuff captured, images in windows, sounds, orbs, all types of things happen on our ghost tours. The lady in the window, that's the most common. Is it Miss Laura? I don't know. But in the back of the house, there's a certain window that I could point out to you that several people have seen the lady standing in the window. And she doesn't seem to be particularly interested in anything. She's just standing there looking off into space. And she may appear for a second or two. She may be there for 5 minutes. But we don't know what that's about. We don't know if Miss Laura's looking for her family or missing her family or wanting us to know she's still here. I don't know.
One of the things that's most exciting about getting to visit Laura's grave is she was the last family member to actually live in the house. She spent her entire life in the house. Allegedly, she died and was born in the same bed, which is a story that I have never heard. And what's really beautiful is there's people still living in the town that knew her. I mean, she passed away in the 1970s. Harold, that we talked to, has really fond memories of being a teenager and getting to speak with her. And you don't get this opportunity that often. You don't usually get to visit a place where someone has lived their entire life in one house. And to be honest, a lot of the townspeople seem to really believe the woman they see in the window is Laura.
People talk about Perryville's Civil War history because that's what we're the best known for, but we were one of the early stations in Kentucky, and one of the early settlers here was a fellow by the name of James Harbison. And they had Harbison's Fort, and behind this house was a cave, and the cave was the center of the fort. So this house is sitting in the original place where the original Harbison's Fort was. Now, a fort at that time was probably 3 or 4 log houses enclosed with pen structure to be a harbinger from the Indians. James Harbison and his son-in-law and another man was out in the fields right across the river here plowing corn. And an Indian raiding party came in and killed him and his son-in-law. James's head was dismembered from his body, and they brought it back to his wife. She put it in a crock jar and preserved it, hoping someday to find the rest of his body. The head is buried in the cemetery on top of the hill.
Dr. Clore and Kevin collect a water sample from the cave located on the property. Since the cave is coated with limestone, a purported paranormal conductor, they want to analyze the water source for any anomalies.
Watch your head. So we're taking the sample just to see if there's any contaminants in the water that may make people think that they see something, might make them hallucinate, might make them think they're hearing noises and seeing ghosts. It's unlikely, but we have to investigate everything. So it's the first time I've been underground here in Kentucky. It's very interesting to see this limestone. Of course, from my perspective, it's not going to cause any supernatural phenomena, but it could definitely lend credence to people's ideas about it, given the fact that there's so many of these deposits and so many sightings. I can see how people might draw a parallel to it. The question is how many other places are there without this limestone? I did find an interesting piece of decayed metal down here. Who knows if it's 20 years old or 100 years old. There's probably a lot of stuff buried in the dirt related to the people who used to hide in this cave. So Kevin and I went down into this cave that's next to this house, which actually has history that dates back well before the Civil War events that happened to this town. We did take a water sample from this cave. A couple things about that sample were quite interesting because the cave itself didn't seem like it would be the cleanest source of water, but the water sample that we took visually looks like it's perfectly drinkable. So we're gonna run some tests on this water to see if there's any possibility that there's contaminants in the water that might cause people perhaps to hallucinate or not feel well, that would lead them to have a sense of things being haunted.
Kevin and I conduct an EMF sweep in the room where witnesses have claimed to see a Civil War era doctor at work.
This room is creepy, dude.
Right?
It feels unsettling in here.
I get a headache since I walked in here.
Yeah, I was like walking by here and I was like, what the hell? It just feels weird, man. These are open too. Every single one of these have been open. Like every room I walked in, each of these like cabinets, like they're open.
Okay, so these don't
close?
No, these.
Yeah, these ones don't close. This place makes me feel really like my equilibrium's way off in here. Do you feel like that too?
This room definitely. Told him a while ago, that little door right there creeps me out. I'm just waiting for something to pop out of it. Let's go see what's in it.
Malia and Dr. Clore look into the claims of cabinet doors opening by themselves in the house. He believes there's a practical explanation behind these claims.
Do you want to start in this room?
Sure.
All right. That's pretty stuck.
Well, it's kind of leaning, so I could see if there was a
If it wasn't closed all the way.
bounce. Notice. You can make it bounce.
But she said that they're fully open and she has to close them every time she comes in, which is crazy.
Oh, it feels weird, dude.
This is an odd room.
There's someone here. Can you come up and touch this box right here? And let us know you're here. We're here with respect. My name is Brandon. This is Kevin.
Are you the person that opens the cabinets upstairs all the time?
If it does come open, it's gonna swing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, none of the floors are even either.
Yeah, well, it's leaning forward.
Uh-huh.
So. Those are really heavy. They're more likely to go back in
Then go out, yeah. And she said they'll like every time she comes in here, they're open. That's, I think, strange.
Well, that is strange. Someone's goofing with her, maybe. What's interesting is because this is tilting the other way.
Oh, you're right. It's tilting towards the wall.
The other one really hard to open. Yeah, no explanation for that. This one's easy to explain.
This cave, literally. How many feet do you think that is right there? It's not far.
Maybe 15 yards.
15 yards right here. And pre-Civil War, which, I mean, we know how many people died here during the Battle of Perryville and then in the years after. But you had, this was like fort in the 1700s, right? Established.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of death, a lot of brutal killings here with the indigenous tribes that were in the area and the settlers. So it was like, this land's got blood on it. It's a blood-soaked land.
While we were driving out here to Perryville today, I found out that my great-great-great-grandfather was with the 85th Regiment out of Ohio, the infantry, and they were in Kentucky and in Perryville. So not only do I have a connection to this town and to that particular instance in the Civil War, but I do know that my great-great-great-grandfather lost his arm, and it's very possible that happened at the Battle of Perryville.
Supposedly, they kept all the soldiers here outside and had the officers like literally staying here.
Yeah, but I can't imagine in a conflict of that size that people weren't being carried into
Everywhere, yeah.
I mean, I can picture it in my head quite clearly.
Yeah.
Wounded people being carried into every sort of place. You wouldn't just say, okay, this one nice house, we're just gonna leave it for the
That's true.
officers.
That's true.
In fact, if you think about it, the most officers ever killed on the Confederate side, so they would be bringing them in here for sure.
I'll say this often, man. I gotta step out of this room. I feel sick. I don't feel good. Like I'm gonna step out.
It's weird the way this room does make you feel.
I do not feel well. Like I just feel like physically ill. Like it's really weird. I'm gonna step out real quick.
I'll hang out for a minute.
I'm just gonna set this there because why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not? If there's anybody here from the Carrick or Parks family, could you please go up and touch the box? You don't have to be scared of it. You just have to go up and touch it, and that will let us know that you're here.
All right, so right now I'm going into the cave that Kevin and Dr. Clore were in earlier. Usually I don't do this kind of stuff. I also have GoPro with IR, and we're gonna be recording it firsthand. Let's go inside. All right, let's see. Heading inside. All right, I'm gonna set an ambisonic microphone right down here. I'm gonna set up a tri-field here.
Never investigated a cave before.
Is there anybody down here with me? With us?
This room's giving me a headache. Time to go. Try to come back again later and see if it feels any different.
There was a noticeable shift in Kevin's behavior at this point in the night, which was a prelude for more strange occurrences to come.
Is there anything that could lend itself scientifically to the idea of, like, well, for residual haunting, okay? Or something that could possibly trigger a residual haunting?
We could start with what is the premise or the rules. So if we say the premise is there is some sort of energy captured here. So let's not dive into the science of whether we've shown that, but let's say there's a premise of it. Then if you had other people coming in, then the question is what releases that energy? So it is possible. Oh, that was interesting.
That was interesting.
What releases that energy could depend upon.
Whoa.
Well, see, I'm talking about releasing the energy, and now
This is interesting.
Not a big signal, but it's saying it's blue.
It did a pressure and temperature.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it did pressure, temperature, and all of them. Yeah, the temperature went down, the pressure did too. Is there somebody trying to communicate with us right now?
It was happening when we were talking about the energy. Releasing it.
Yeah.
just as we said that, so that's interesting.
That's really interesting.
Because in your theory, so if it was there, something comes along, it could trigger it. That's possible, assuming the first premise is correct.
What?
While Mustafa explores the cave with the camera operator, their attention is drawn by a strange noise. In this moment, the tri-field detects a strange signal, then moves on its own.
Oh, that's all water there. You're right, dude. That's a reflection, right?
Yep.
In this enhanced footage, you can see an over 1 milligauss spike as soon as the meter moves on its own. Due to the cave's layout, it's unlikely that any wind would enter this area to knock the device down.
If there's somebody here right now, could you make that go off one more time, please? All three. I don't think I've ever seen it do all three. Okay.
Yeah.
Is this one of the Parks family members? Is this Laura Parks?
Is it just an energy entity
Yeah.
that likes us talking about energy?
Seriously. That is weird because it's when we were talking about energy.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I'm really curious if anybody else.
So is that recording?
It is recording.
Oh, good. So we can bring it back down. Brandon can take a look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, and how, after we got these hits initially, we were sitting here talking for a while, or standing here talking for a while, and it wasn't going off. And we went in there, we came back in, we tested this idea of this flow.
Yeah.
And then.
And many times it's done something. So.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I can't say scientifically what it means, but I can say that it's interesting versus it doing nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I've been doing this with Brandon, I think, 14 years.
Wow.
But, a little time, then off, because I go off to do my other science things and then come back. Of course, I'm not a believer that it has to be a pressure change one way or the other.
Yeah.
I think there's, again, classifications of phenomena.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is something real, there's a classification when the pressure changes. And I bet you there's a whole other classification if there's something real where it doesn't.
Absolutely.
See,
Yeah.
he agrees with me.
Yeah, he agrees with you.
It's actually a science entity I brought from Alpha Centauri.
It's like your trick pony, yeah.
To screw with you. If one's going to apply the scientific method to paranormal research, there's some very hard, fast rules you have to follow. One is you have to make sure that your instruments have been tested and then retested so that you know when you're getting a false signal. And even the best instruments that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions and millions of dollars, give false signals in science all the time. So we have calibrations, recalibrations, and we often test multiple instruments. This is rarely done in paranormal research, and it needs to be if you're going to rely upon the results. The same can be true for any other type of experiment that we're doing. So if you're detecting pressure changes or temperature changes, you have to test and see if just in an ordinary place, can you get those similar fluctuations based upon what you see in a place like this?
Mustafa and Dr. Clore head to the doctor's room in an attempt to detect any abnormal signals.
Interesting. Coming through that hallway, we got a major Z signal.
Yeah. When I first turned it on, we had high EMF, so I don't know if that's... No, that doesn't make sense. That was just turned on.
No, it's actually, there's some sort of magnetic effect that's oscillating here.
Really?
Now it's super high in this room. We'll see what happens when we go in the other room.
So that's weird?
Well, it's weird that it did that. I'm not sure if we can see it, but...
Brandon and Kevin, they both emerge from the doctor's room, and they look like they're in a huge daze.
I'll say this often, man. I gotta step out of this room. I feel sick. I don't feel good. I'm gonna step out.
It's weird the way this room does make you feel.
So we went into that room, and Harry and I whip out the 5Fox app, and if it gets Harry's seal of approval, he's got my seal of approval. And he starts testing the EMF frequencies with the magnetometer on it.
So this is measuring the X, Y, and Z axis for the magnetic field line, sort of the fluctuation and the strength. And so we're seeing a difference in the Z. So one of the instruments we've been using in this investigation is not a device normally used for paranormal research. I've been using my phone with an app that has a whole variety of ways of accessing the sensors in your iPhone. So in particular, we're using the 5Fox app. And the reason we're doing that is this is not a paranormal app. This is an app actually that teachers and educators can use to run experiments. And the sensors in it are extremely sensitive. So it actually acts as a good secondary testing device. And in many ways can give better results than the instruments that we're carrying around specifically designed for measuring different things.
Could that possibly explain why, like Brandon and Kevin said that they felt like...
Oh yeah, it can affect, some people are very sensitive to fluctuations in electromagnetic waves. That's why I was running this to see.
Oh, so we got a spike in EMF in here when you walked in?
Yeah, well, this room seems to have a naturally high. You'll see, look, it's back again.
We're using an application called 5Fox. It was developed by the University of Aachen.
This is an educational app for teachers and kids and families. So I highly recommend it as somebody who also promotes science and science literacy.
and it is very sensitive. So Mustafa and I just came back from that room where you were feeling uneasy. So I decided to run a 3-axis magnetometer, which is built into your iPhone because that's how you get good compass reading. And what was interesting is we got a consistent spot where if you change the location by a couple feet, you would get 40 microtesla shifts consistently. So I could stand in position A, it's 40 microteslas higher, and go over here, and now it's 40 lower, and back and forth. So because we could repeat it, it's not related to the position of the phone next to my body, it's not related to the cameras. There's definitely a change that's happening in that location. Now, I'm not sensitive to it apparently, but it is possible that you and other people in the house could be sensitive to it. Now, we haven't mapped out the rest of the house, so I will do that and walk around, check the other rooms, and see what we get.
I think we should do some solo runs just to cut down on contamination as much as possible. So you're cool going up there and just kind of taking the control camera and walking around and trying to get a dialogue started if possible?
Yeah.
You're cool with that? All right, so Malia will keep you here at the Nerve Center,
Okay.
and then Harry, myself, and Mustafa will kind of exit the building for a bit, let Kevin do his thing, and then once we're done with that, we'll go through and map the rest of the house.
Kevin's mood continues to change during his solo sweep on the second floor.
All right, top of the stairs, room on the right. The one bed in it. Felt really uncomfortable up here a while ago. Have the EDI over here in the window.
As Malia monitors the Nerve Center's control cameras, she notices Kevin's strange behavior, which prompts her to ask him to pause his investigation.
Hey Kim, can I talk to you for a second? Just go in this other room really quick. It's gonna sound really weird, but I feel almost like a little concerned for you because I feel like your energy's a little bit different than it's been any other location we've ever been to, and I just wanted to like do it like a buddy check-in and see if you're okay.
Yeah, this place just, I don't know. Got a bit of a headache in here, like right behind my ears.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's the place. I don't know if it's the microtesla difference that Dr. Laura's picking up in the other room because we haven't checked the rest of the house.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different feeling in here.
I haven't seen you like this ever, and it's kind of, I think honestly I'm getting wigged out because you're usually so kind of like together, and I feel like you're out of your element.
It's like I'll get a pain here and then I'll stop. I'll get a pain somewhere else and I'll stop. I feel dizzy, then I'll stop. So I don't know if something's like moving around or what exactly it is in this place.
Pressure changes right there. Right there on the, did you see that?
Again?
Right there, it's going off again. Look at.
Oh, and temperature went down.
Let's get up there.
Yeah.
Let's get up there.
After Malia speaks with Kevin, Mustafa and I start to notice drastic pressure changes upstairs. We rush to the area to further test the environment.
Someone in here? Oh, it feels weird in here, man.
Yo.
4.8.
6?
Dude,
6. Oh, it shot up, it's gone.
Dude, it shot up to like 23.
On tri-field, oh, pressure.
It shot
It's
up
going
to
on
like
right now,
23,
it's going down.
dude.
Hello,
It is not.
We don't mean.
Whoa, 22.7?
Do you feel that in here?
I got chills.
So right now, we just came in here. The tri-field meter shot up to a 23 milligauss, right?
23.
23 milligauss. We're having pressure changes on the EDI right when we were talking about Kevin, and it feels drastically different in here than it has. Like, do you feel like you're talking underwater?
You know, it's one thing to have this massive milligauss spike on the tri-field. It's one thing to have pressure changes in correlation with it, but it's another thing to feel the sensation that I was feeling at that moment. That doesn't translate on camera. It's something you can only try to explain, but unless you've felt that, unless you've been in that situation, you really won't understand it.
It's never been this
pressure
changes. It has never done this the whole night. There's no electricity in here.
It went up to 23.2.
If you're the one right there, pressure. I was about to say it.
What was that?
Did you hear that?
Oh, that's footsteps. Go.
Hello? Are you in this room?
This is a real deal. This is it. This is happening right now. This is the real deal, dude. What's the woman's name?
Laura.
Shit. Guys. We got that on camera here.
Yeah.
You film everybody? Dude, come here.
It felt like something otherworldly was taking place.
Right when we said Laura Park's name, we started getting pressure hits.
Laura, if that's you and you understand what we're saying, can you please make that device turn on again? The lights that were blinking, if that was you, can you do that one more time for us, please? We heard footsteps. The EMF was going off. Can you please do that one more time just so we know it's you? This is real right now. This is really happening right now. That is not a coincidence.
Again, having those correlations between devices, having those sensations and those feelings of heaviness, those feelings of something else being in the room with you. Unless you felt that, unless you experienced it, it's definitely hard to try and explain to someone.
Right
Laura.
there. There it is again.
Right there.
Pressure and temperature.
That's her. She's here. We understand you're here. Thank you.
Carrick Park's house, not to sound all horror movie about it, is a house of secrets. There's a trap door upstairs, and in 2011, someone lifts up the floor and they find a saber and bayonet from the Civil War there.
Some aberrations here, but after I set it down, it stayed pretty high, consistent, and now it's going down.
And now this stopped.
And now it stopped. So while we were getting those pressure changes, these increases over here all correlated with the pressure changes that we were getting. And I haven't felt weird in here at all. But like when that was like right before all that started happening, I mean, you saw, dude, I was like straight goose pimples. So I don't know.
Several members of both our investigative team and our crew experience a variety of uneasiness and other symptoms.
I'll say this often, man. I gotta step out of this room. I feel sick. I don't feel good. Like, I'm gonna step out.
It's weird the way this room does make you feel.
I do not feel well. Like, I just feel like physically ill. Like, it's really weird.
They didn't feel well. They felt blurry vision.
My eyes are freaking killing me. Like, in a really bizarre freaking way. Like, my left one started to feel like a lot of pressure, and it's just really weird because I feel like you know how in other places I've gotten the weird pains in like my hands and my legs and stuff. I haven't had any of that. I haven't had like dizziness or lightheadedness. Had a little bit of weird stuff upstairs, but I know that was just the floors. But I feel like everything is ocular for me here. Like I was having the weird thing where I feel like I can't. Like I can see, I can clearly see, but I feel like I can't trust what I'm seeing. So I feel very, like my eyes feel extremely fatigued. And to be honest, of most of our days, I don't feel that tired. Like I was actually very well rested today. And when I was sitting up here, just like manning nerve when you were up, like I literally had to like keep touching my eyes because my eyes hurt so bad.
I didn't feel such things, but I think the explanation for this is multifold. One, the house is particularly cold. It acts as a very strong heat sink so that it never seems to get warm in this house. The floors in this house, while seemingly solid in places, are very uneven. So from one step to the next, you're tilting one way or the other, and this could be affecting your ear, and that can give you a sense of unease. It can make your stomach upset. And then in one room, I detected a 40 microtesla change within 2 feet. Interesting. Coming through that hallway, we got a major Z signal.
So that's weird?
Well, it's weird that it did that. And I was very careful to repeat that experiment over and over again. We found it consistent. So it's possible that some of our members are more sensitive to changes in the magnetic field around them and helped in that uneasy feeling. So those three factors together, I think, could explain the symptoms.
It's whatever was in here left.
It was happening.
That was real.
It was happening.
That was real. It was happening when we were out of the room.
We were downstairs. No one was on this floor. Pressure changes.
Yeah, we're seeing pressure changes. I'm not seeing anything over there.
Laura, was that you?
No, there's no graphs coming through here, but of course we're in the room now. Observer affecting the experiment, so to speak.
When it went off a while ago, no one was up here. We had all been downstairs for a period of time.
So now if it starts spiking when it's sitting there, then we definitely are getting some sort of signal.
Our cameraman David starts to exhibit some of the symptoms both Kevin and I experienced in the doctor's room earlier that night.
I don't know if it was a long day, but exhaustion, and I was fine, but when I got in that room, just like my lower back just started killing me.
Like what exactly? Just like intense pain, like?
Yeah, like sharp pains, like, I don't know if it's like compression, or being in the cave for so long.
It wasn't until you got into that second room in there, or this room?
Yeah, I mean, I was about to fall asleep, straight up.
You felt drained?
Yeah, I was about to like face first for a second. Like my whole body just felt like all my muscles were just giving out.
What keeps my pursuit of the paranormal going and what keeps my passion alive is the fact that there is a chance that some of this phenomena is taking place. And when you think about the history of a place like Perryville, you think about all the men that lost their lives here. Trying to keep history alive, trying to find answers when it comes to supernatural phenomena is something that keeps my passion going.
It's been really interesting investigating with Dr. Clore because I think personally in my own head, I'm thinking about things more scientifically than maybe I did before. Like, I feel like I'm using words like theory more than I have in other investigations.
That passion that he has, that knowledge is something that really helps further our research and something that really puts our investigation in perspective. The Carrick Parks house has the perfect elements of a haunting that would excite any paranormal investigator. With its layers of history and purported claims, this unique location was not only an ideal structure for our first investigation into Perryville, but it proved to be an active hotspot as well, one that left us with several questions. Were the high levels of EMF Dr. Clore logged behind our team's strange behavioral shifts? Or do these experiences have anything to do with the sudden changes in the environment that we captured? The water sample collected by Dr. Clore in the cave was inconclusive and didn't support a natural explanation for the paranormal experiences on the property. We continue our search for answers into Perryville's haunted claims as we head to the site of one of America's bloodiest Civil War battles, one that changed the history of the city forever. The team separates to investigate two different properties associated with the battle and to test a new paranormal theory. Can ghostly activity manifest in separate locations simultaneously, or can we find a natural explanation both Perryville residents and visitors swear they've witnessed firsthand?
Perryville at that time only had about 400 people living here, and you would have an army of 70,000 soldiers that would fight here. Two of the Union Corps were not even engaged, about 30,000. So basically you had fighting in this area right in front of us was the 1st Corps under Alexander McCook's 20,000 Union soldiers that would be taking on Confederate General Braxton Bragg's army of around 16,000, 17,000 men. Every single house, barn, were turned into field hospitals.
Perryville is a typical town, small town America through the South. Without the battle, we'd just be another place.
There's always been weird things going on. I woke up in the middle of the night. I sat up in the bed and there was a Confederate soldier standing at attention in the doorway.
Ryan, thank you so much for having us out here. It's a pleasure to meet you. We're here in Perryville, looking at some of the haunted locations around town, and we know it's kind of ground zero why many people say Perryville's haunted. So, and funny enough, since being here, I did find out my great-great-great-grandfather was with the 85th Infantry of Ohio, and I believe that they were here at Perryville. So what can you tell us about Perryville in general and specifically this battle?
Perryville at that time only had about 400 people living here, and you would have an army of 70,000 soldiers that would fight here. 2 of the Union corps were not even engaged, about 30,000. So basically you had fighting in this area right in front of us was the 1st Corps under Alexander McCook's 20,000 Union soldiers that'd be taking on Confederate General Braxton Bragg's army of around 17,000 men. And this battle would only last 5 hours, and we had close to 8,000 casualties.
This affected the entire town, right? Not just this area.
Oh, every single house, barn, were turned into field hospitals. And if you talk to the most residents here have that houses in Perryville, they were all field hospitals. Not only here in Perryville, but Springfield, Danville, Mackville, Louisville, Kentucky, all the way as far as Jeffersonville, Indiana, were having hospitals bringing in all these wounded from the Battle of Perryville.
Harold, nice to see you. Welcome to Perryville.
Thank you so much. Come on, let's go check out. This is the HP Bottom House, right?
HP Bottom House, yes.
Let's take a gander. So this is what life would have been like before all the carnage started in the Battle of Perryville. Real nice, serene, quiet.
Very peaceful, very peaceful.
And right now we're experiencing kind of like a drier month, and that's would have been the conditions, right, back then?
Yes, we're very dry here, and during October 8th, 1862, before and after the battle, that was a big factor that the troops had to deal with, the lack of water. It took days to move an army, and so you had all those times that they needed water. So, you know, their canteens is all the average soldier had. They had no tanks of water that followed them or anything.
So not only are they dealing with the aftermath of the battle here, and they have wounds and all that, and they're being forced to like bury their comrades or maybe even, you know, enemies. You know, the Union soldiers had to come in and they had to like do a lot of the burials here too, but they're dealing with their wounds, and now they have to deal with, they have to wait days maybe even just to get some water.
Yeah, the average soldier, you know, like I said, marched for days without water, sometimes very little food, and then went from extreme boredom, just march, camp, march, constantly having to be unaware of what's going to happen in the next hour, extreme boredom, to all of a sudden thrown into a battle in extreme terror.
One of the places we're actually going to be looking at is the Bottom House, in a location that many people have stories about. And I know that HP Bottom had a huge experience within the battle here at Perryville, right?
We're actually standing on his land. Most of the battle occurred on his property. And it was up to him, unfortunately, to bury the Confederate dead. Now, the Union soldiers would bury their own on the field. And unfortunately, one of the saddest stories out here is that the Confederate soldiers, when the Confederates left that night, they left all the Confederate dead and wounded on the battlefield. And you can imagine the day of the battle was almost 90 degrees. And these poor soldiers, they were dying of heat exposure because we were going through a drought. Hadn't rained here in over 6.5 weeks. And they're looking for water. And if you go to downtown Perryville, the Chaplain River still runs through it to this day. And as you drove across, when you came into the battlefield today, that's Doctor's Creek. There were some scummy ponds of nasty water in it, but hey, water is water. And that's how this, basically the Army broke out in battle here, was fighting over the water.
Were there civilian casualties as a result of the battle?
The town was decimated. His house was decimated. They left. They couldn't be here during this battle. It was too dangerous. They had some warning. It didn't happen. You know, they had a few hours to gather up their valuables and get out, load up their wagons and leave. The problem that the locals had was coming back to basically nothing. A shell of a house, doors taken off and used for stretchers, furniture broken up for firewood. Everything they had in the house to eat was gone. Any valuables they had were gone.
Okay, Lisa, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and telling us your relationship with the Sam Bottom House.
Okay. My name is Lisa Bottom. We own this house. We've lived here for about 36 years. Our relatives are from Samuel Bottom, so our heritage goes back. My husband was a Bottom, so we go back that far. It's just been here since the Civil War, early 1850s, and we have worked hard to try to keep it in the shape that it's in, and getting ready to turn it into a bed and breakfast.
This was built by Samuel Bottom, and now, over 100 years later, that same line is back here. So as a person that has married into this very prominent family of Perryville, like, what has that been like for you?
It's been great. We love history. My husband's a history buff anyway, so we love history. We love Perryville because of the historic homes and the historic Merchants Row that's here, and we just want to keep it here for people to come and see, because it's a rare thing in the United States of America to be able to find places like this that are still intact.
Would Samuel have been living here during the Battle of Perryville?
Yes, he was here during that time. So, and I mean, he was very prominent, and he had other homes that he built in Perryville, but yes, this was one of them.
From my understanding, like all the other homes here, this house would have served as a hospital.
Yes.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yes. It did serve as a hospital. You can't see it now because it's covered, but there's blood stains in the floors upstairs. So we do have that, and we've found, different things. And I think I've talked to you about it earlier, but there are some artifacts that we found when we dug outside. We would spend our vacations just trying to see what was here. So we took the steps off one summer and put a box together and sifted the dirt to see what we could find. So we have some of that.
There's a lot of mistakes that were made here, and one of them, Union General Don Carlos Buell, he sent a diversionary force from Louisville, Kentucky over to Frankfort to fool bragging and thinking the entire Union Army was heading towards Frankfort to take back the state capital, because the Confederates did seize the state capital and they held on to it for 3 weeks. Well, Bragg was under the impression he was only tackling a small element of the Union Army here. He would be tackling the First Corps under Alexander McCook's 20,000, but he didn't know there's another 2 more corps coming up the road of another 30,000 Union soldiers.
The ammunition that was used during the war, those bullets were so big and heavy, and when they hit a bone, they didn't go through like a bullet today would. It would actually hit the bone and it would just break it. And it may have passed through it, it may not. But what the wound that was left wasn't anything that they could deal with at that time.
You also have to realize that this whole area is hallowed. There's, it's a burial ground. I mean, there were so many people that died here, and so many hospitals here. So, it's just, it's giving me cold chills just talking about it. But, there's something still here. I mean, we've had those occasions where we've felt stuff in the home, and so we just kind of think of it as a hallowed place because it's kind of a burial ground.
Hi, I'm Heather Bottom. We are in Lisa and Pete Bottom's house here in Perryville, Kentucky. Biggest experience I've ever had is one night after my husband and I got married. I was actually pregnant with one of our children, and we had stayed the night, and I woke up in the middle of the night because when you're pregnant you do those things, and I sat up in the bed, and there was a Confederate soldier standing at attention in the doorway. He had a very slender face, very pointy nose. His skin, if I close my eyes, I could picture him right now. He never looked towards me, just standing guard over the room, over me. Immediately, I was scared. I got underneath the blankets, pulled the blankets over my head, and I waited a second and pulled them back down very slowly. And there he stood, as still as a statue. Never looked my way, never done anything.
Well, certainly inside the house, I know that there's been investigations here before, and they have picked up things. I was here one night when they had a sound recorder, and it just registered suffering.
How do you think the battle impacts what people believe to be hauntings going on here within Perryville?
We're so used to it, we think it's just reciprocal energy that's caught here from these men that died so quickly. Like I said, in 5 hours, we had almost 8,000 casualties. So these guys, their energy is trapped here, and I think that's what we see. It's like a broken record, just replaying it all the time. And we hear so much around here, we don't even blink at it anymore. We hear rifle shots out here, cannon fire during the daytime. We hear bugle calls on the battlefield.
So much happened all around this house, it would be hard to find a place where you wouldn't have anything that wouldn't be horrific. I mean, out the back, the front, the inside, upstairs, out in the lawn, there wouldn't be any place that wouldn't be a good place to investigate, I wouldn't think.
You'll see soldiers walking around the property because so many bodies were laid out in the lawn.
While Kevin and Malia investigate the Sam Bottom house, Dr. Clore and Mustafa conduct their own investigation of the HP Bottom house on the Perryville battlefield.
Let's see what we can find in here.
Right when they walk through the door, an unexplained voice is recorded on Mustafa's audio device.
So this place has seen a lot of history.
Oh yeah.
Especially, actually, through the more than 100 and something years that this house has stood here.
It's been here for a while. I mean, what's really cool is that the guy who owns it, it's a private residence, Harold Edwards, he made a phone call and we got access to it. So we're one of the few people who've been able to investigate it. So this is where it all happened, man. I mean, HP Bottom, right in his front lawn, tons of wounded and dead folks strewn about it.
So these wood floors should have a lot of blood soaked in them, I guess.
There actually is bloodstains in the wooden floors.
So this house served as a field hospital for a period of time.
Yeah.
According to the owners, there are still spots upstairs to have
Blood
stains on the floor, which I find very interesting. And it's probably something that actually is quite a bit, and probably in quite a bit of the houses in this town.
Oh, I bet. It's interesting too, because especially being in this room, which I mean, they've done a really beautiful job, you know, modernizing it. So like this room compared to especially like the character. What?
It sounded like somebody hit some piano notes and started singing.
What?
Did you hear that?
Did you hear that, Kyle?
But there's no piano here. That's what kind of threw me off. It just sounded like somebody hit some keys and started, like some lady started singing.
What?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I'm excited to be here because, you know, a place that has seen so many bodies carried in and out of here.
Mm-hmm.
The blood. In terms of the theory that if you have someone face a death or a big injury, it's supposed to leave some sort of emanation or ghosts.
Yeah.
So if we were going to find something, this would be a place where I would think that you would find a signal. So we're in a town that has a very bloody mythos about a big battle that is considered one of the most deadly one-day battles in the Civil War. There's plethora of ghost stories in this town. In fact, I've walked around and every single individual I've talked to has not seen a ghost, but they've heard lots of ghost stories. There's a battlefield area here where a lot of people do recreations. And there's a lot of stories that people see Confederate and Union soldiers, even in the daytime, and they hear cannon fire. I think these are basically created by people's imagination. But you can imagine they probably burned a lot of bloody rags and other things in this fireplace.
Yeah, and the story goes, right, out of this window, yeah, this is the side of the house, right out of here, there's so many amputated limbs, and they would just kind of throw them out the window. So it's like you'd be just like over here tending to sick people. You look out the window, you don't see that field or that creek there anymore. You just see a bunch of severed hands and arms and legs.
So basically, you could be standing here and I could say, "Give me a hand."
We can take these in the master bedroom.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna hit record.
Yeah. So I'm gonna turn the motion detector on. I'm just gonna kind of angle it out of that room just a little bit on the middle step.
Okay.
That way it'll catch if anything, it should catch if anything comes down or goes up the steps or into this room. It should be covering this whole,
No, that makes sense.
this whole
Do
scene
we have any
area.
camera on that or no?
Yes, I have a camera right here.
Oh, perfect, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and set this on the bed. It's kind of interesting that they have the bed blocking the fireplace, which that's a huge mantle.
People have to remember, the battles back then were totally brutal.
Yeah.
And it often went to hand-to-hand combat because it took a long time to reload, and so that's why you had bayonets and you had knives. Fighting was like really close. So in terms of if there was traumatic energy in the theory of people dying, I would expect this place to be soaked with it.
Right over here, this is where a cannonball came in. They sealed it from the outside so bugs and critters and varmints won't get in, but that's it, man.
Right, so not only did this area see a lot of combat, but as I understand it, a lot of bodies are buried around this house.
All around it, all around it. There's too many to count. I want to go upstairs. I think upstairs is where the bloodstains are, right? Yeah. There's. Oh, here we go. Alrighty.
So this looks like some more battle damage since he's got it kind of preserved.
Yep. They put it over there.
Not sure if it's a cannon, but it's something.
Those are the original bloodstains here from people because they were constantly doing surgeries, amputations. It's gnarly. And they never washed it out.
Yeah, I understand that it's better to do the amputations on the top floor because the bottom floors had much more flea infestations. I'm not sure why, but that's what several folks in the town have told me. So,
oh, really?
And then they would be actually tossing the limbs outside the window.
So I did a sweep of the room just to see if there's any high EMF naturally or anything. Nothing.
Nothing at all. Okay.
No.
I'm gonna go ahead and shut this door. So the door definitely will not stay open on its own.
No. Is that a heavy door?
It's a fairly heavy door.
The other thing that we have happen to us a lot is in our bedroom, that doorknob will turn and that door will pop open.
Can I feel it? Oh, yeah. I got a lot of voltage happening here. All right.
I'm curious, what was this room used for during your time here?
That was where the pressure light went off right before you asked that. But just pressure.
Did it?
Yeah.
There went again.
Yeah.
Pressure changes already.
There's no temperature change. Is there somebody here trying to communicate with us right now and is touching that box on the bed? If so, could you make the light go off one more time, please?
In terms of a theoretical place of where you're going to detect something,
yeah,
I would say that this would be in the top 10 because of all the trauma, the cannon holes, the blood, the amputations, the battle. So for me, going into this as an investigator, keep an open mind. If that theory is true, then my hope is that we would actually find some sort of signal here.
Yeah. Plus, there's all the reports of people who are seeing stuff all the time. Got out there on the battlefield, and then hopefully those reports are true. What are you thinking we do? We think we want to just like sit in this room for a little bit?
Do you have?
I got a motion detector and I got a tri-field.
Once you get the tri-field,
okay,
I'll stay up here and see if I sense anything.
Okay.
I'm the least likely probably to sense something, though I'm a pretty sensitive guy, so who knows?
Are you the person that sometimes comes up and knocks on the door to this bedroom? Lisa and Pete said that they would be in bed and hear somebody knocking on the door. What did they want?
Kevin grabs a few of the artifacts found on site to use as trigger objects.
So here on the table, we have some items that when they had tore down the wall here to expand, these items were found in the walls and in the yard. Original belt buckles. So I'm gonna take a couple of these items into the room there and see if we can maybe get some interaction with them.
And what's very different about this place is it's not worn down like a lot of the places that we've been in terms of uneven floors. It's also not super cold. So I imagine the insulation in this place is a lot better.
Oh yeah. Especially compared to, you know, other spots, even in this town.
If there's any energy entity at all, give us a signal. So, you know, in a lot of haunting stories and horror films, there's always bugs or lots of flies. Look at this over here.
Yeah.
So some of them are still wiggling around.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it's proof of anything other than the fact that it's really damn creepy.
It's Amityville, dude. There's something about Ville. A wide Ville.
This table is just covered in dead flies.
Kevin and Malia attempt to contact the Civil War soldier reportedly seen upstairs.
Is there a soldier in here that watches over people when they sleep?
So a lot of people in this town say that they often see a Confederate soldier walking the street that they have given the name Sam to. Is that you?
We hear a lot of footsteps. Mainly in the upstairs, you can hear footsteps going across the floors. We have people come from all over the place, so they were camping in our backyards in campers, and 2 weeks before they came, I was upstairs in one of the bedrooms, and I heard my rings fling across the room. So we went in, and I looked after I got my hands all cleaned up to see if I could find it. So I found the diamond, but I never found the wedding band. Well, our daughter got up in the middle of the night, and she got us all up, and she said there was been a soldier in her camper, and he was standing over her with a wedding band.
What?
They knew nothing. They knew nothing about any of this. And she left and wouldn't come back.
I'm gonna run down and grab the tablet. So
Okay.
I'm gonna run this Firefox app and see if we can get any hits on that or anything like that.
I've always loved ghost stories.
Yeah.
I've written a lot of science fiction and fantasy and ghost entity stories. But it's more of like catching the virus of this town in terms of their mythology.
Okay.
Because every single person in this town has multiple stories. The other thing I think is interesting is all the people I've talked to, from my side of just randomly walking around, none of them have actually seen something themselves.
It's all secondhand?
But they have plenty of stories of things that have happened from other people.
Wait, hold on. Am I smelling the candle? Like legitimately, I'm smelling something really sweet, and I know there is a really fragrant candle downstairs, but there's also the smell of muffins. Does anybody else smell that sweet smell? Were you smelling it before? No. Me either. I'm not kidding you, I'm getting a fucking whiff of muffins. Or like sweet. It is really strong. Hold on, I'm gonna take this. I wanna go up. Are you guys okay going up? I wanna, hold on. Do you smell it? Yeah, this is where they smell the muffins. Clara, are you up here?
She said, have you ever smelled muffins? And I will tell you that we smell muffins a lot in this house. And she said they're carrying muffins, and they go up and down those steps all the time.
On the battlefield, Dr. Clore and Mustafa test for any abnormal EMF signals.
This would be the worst spot to be in the battle because the person's got the high ground and you're going to be trying to get up over this hill, or they're coming down onto you.
Mm-hmm. There's a massive number of casualties all around here.
So we're supposed to hear cannon fire. That's one of the other phenomena.
Yeah, bugles, cannon fire, people calling orders, sounds of people screaming.
The team's attention is drawn to strange noises in the field.
So I can hear a plane in the distance, the cars in the distance. I can hear this weird frequency sound.
Some in the grass. Is it like a raccoon or something?
Well, so that dog barking in the distance could definitely sound like somebody. Like,
yeah.
To your imagination.
Dude, there's something like in that grass. You don't hear that? Am I just like losing my mind?
Well,
I don't think it's
not
paranormal.
necessarily exclusive.
Huh?
You could be losing your mind and hearing something.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I find it interesting because that's really far away,
Uh-huh.
where you can hear it. So I think one of the things that we know from standing out here is just how far sound is traveling.
Yeah.
So if someone set off a firework or a gun from very far away, you could hear it here, and you might think it's gunfire or cannon fire.
Is there somebody up here? Jesus, it's dark in here. Is there somebody in here that is bringing up muffins? We can all smell them, and they smell delicious. If there's somebody up here that is carrying muffins, can you come up and touch this device so I know that you're here?
So Malia, right when you started smelling muffins, we did get a pretty good drop in pressure.
Well, that's strange.
About the time that you started saying you smelled muffins and started heading upstairs.
Weird. It's hard for me to accurately, like, this is not smell-o-vision, I wish it was. But like, as you can tell, I mean, there's a toilet quite literally sitting in the middle of the freaking floor. We have new floors. We are in the middle of a construction site because you smell in this, like, I literally, there it is, sawdust. You smell all the smells of a construction site. This is not a place where you smell sweet smells. And we were all standing on the freaking staircase and literally like wafting sweet smell came out of freaking nowhere. And it was overwhelming, enough to like overpower the smell of freaking sawdust. I'm not smelling it now, but I'm a little excited because that is something that Lisa says that people experience. Also the smell of coffee. I don't smell coffee, but I did smell the sweet smell.
You had a personal experience when you got that smell.
Yeah.
And something that's rare is when you had that personal experience, I was documenting pressure drops at the same time.
And was that like the only real significant pressure drops we've had so far, right?
That was the only real significant one, is right when you said you started smelling stuff and you came out of that room and up the stairs. That's when it dropped. And so far we have registered temperature, pressure changes in both rooms that's had reported activity, as well as temperature changes in this one.
Malia and Kevin head back downstairs to try and document any further environmental changes.
The baseline is almost as even to what it was before you started smelling the muffins and it dropped.
Oh, you're right.
That's really close to the same.
Yeah. So it's safe to say that this is the normal status quo, so to speak. And all of this was the weird abnormalities we were getting when we were upstairs.
Right. That's how I'm reading it.
We have cameras outside, so, you know, we could see if there's somebody in our house or, and we've even had, not long ago, a really loud knock at that door.
On your bedroom door?
On our bedroom door.
No,
and
thank
so
you.
we get up, you know, my husband gets up, gets the gun, we go look, there's nothing. We get the cameras, we go back out and look on the recordings, there's nothing.
Well, let's try this. You stay in here and shut this door.
Okay.
I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna knock on the outside door.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna come inside and knock on this door.
Cool, let's do it.
And let's see what the difference in the sound and the tone is. If they sound similar
Or totally
or if
different.
it's definitely this door that was getting knocked on.
Yeah, okay, good. I like it. It's pretty fucking loud.
Pressure changes
On the EDI?
on the EDI.
Okay, let's see. Oh, we got a little bit of a decrease here too. So we had it evened out and now it's gone down.
Pressure changes again and temperature.
Again.
Whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
shit.
whoa.
Okay.
Okay. So, is that what normally happens when you knock on the door? Big pressure changes.
Whoa.
Feels a little different in here too, doesn't it?
Yeah. What is happening?
It's on the bed. It's got to be on the bed.
Are you on the bed right now? Sorry.
Are you?
I don't know what to ask.
We're getting such dramatic pressure and temperature changes right now, and it's still dropping on the graph.
I know Dr. Clore and Mustafa were just out here. Now it's time for you and I to do an EMCCD test out here. I mean, there's really no better place to conduct an EMCCD test than here at the HP Bottom House in the Perryville battlefield. And you hear about countless numbers of people seeing Confederate and Union soldiers out here. So you think about HP Bottom being here, you think about the fact that his entire farm was overtaken by Union and Confederate soldiers, and he was here looking out over at what was once a rock wall, and that's where a lot of the fighting started. So I think that we take the EMCCD over there, start recording, see what we can find. Check this out here, look at how clear this is. So where we're shooting out is this high grass line you're seeing right here was actually where there was once a rock wall, and that rock wall was where a lot of the fighting began here on this property at the Bottom Farm and what is now known as the Battle of Perryville. What's really, I mean, unbelievable to see with this camera is it is pitch black out there. You cannot see anything, but you can see the skyline absolutely perfectly. I mean, it looks like this is daytime. And again, you know, a lot of awful things happen on that field, a lot of vicious battles, and I can't imagine what it was like to be here in person for that event.
I could sit here and watch this thing all night.
There we go.
Yep.
Look at this.
What?
Whoa, look at this.
What the hell is that?
Look at this. Look at this. What the hell is that? Can you see anything with your visual eye?
I don't see anything.
Look at this, it's going across the field. And again, this is the area where a majority of the fighting took place at the beginning of the Battle of Perryville. There's a creek that runs right down here, not far from us, that's where soldiers were collecting water, and they were trying to get that resource, and that's when things really kicked off. Here, you hold this, I'm gonna go look out there and I can see if I can see anything with my eyes, okay? I just came down here to look if we were seeing any planes. I just put my flashlight over this line that you can clearly see is like high grass, and I saw eyes peering back. I don't know if it's animal, but whatever it is tall. It could be a deer maybe, but I did not hear any footsteps. That was actually really scary.
And thing to keep in mind too, these leaves, you would hear this.
Yeah. It's gone, whatever it was. That was actually pretty scary. I mean, I think it's possibly an animal, but that was very strange. Did not hear any movement or rustling within the high grass or the leaves. What is it?
I can't tell. It's 4 legs.
Is it elk?
No, I can't tell, but it's 4 legs. Right there.
Right there. I see it walking off. I just saw it. Yeah, it's big, whatever that is. What the hell is that? It's a deer.
Yeah, it's a deer.
Can you see it on the camera?
No.
Damn, that scared the hell out of me. It's a buck. I think I see antlers.
That's just black out there. It's not.
Yeah, it's a deer. He's taking off now.
The shadow figure documented on the EMCCD camera seems to be something or someone standing up from a crouching position. Is this one of the soldiers that was killed in the Battle of Perryville, or is it somehow related to the deer Kevin and I saw? After the EMCCD session, I headed into the HP Bottom House to conduct a solo investigation that would hopefully yield an answer.
Hello? Hello? I hear you walking in here. It's heavy in here. Oof. What the
Ooh. There's something moving around in here. It is so heavy in here right now. See the bullet holes in here, look at that. So crazy. You can feel it in here. It's so heavy in here right now.
So Kevin and I had a couple strange things happen, and I'm really curious to see if there's any way that we recreate it or we experience anything similar. So the first thing we should do is go into this room. So we were in this room because the main claim in this room, this is where Lisa and her husband sleep, and they will hear a knock on this door. And so what Kevin and I did was he went out and he knocked on the front door. We closed this, first of all, we closed this door. Then Kevin went outside, knocked on the front door to see how loud it was in here. Then he knocked on this door to see how significantly louder it was, which it was. It scared me shitless each time, even though it was gonna happen. So that happened a couple times, and then we had some strange things happen in here directly after we did it. So I'm kind of curious to see if I recreate what he did to see if we get the same thing.
Were any of the strange things associated with opening and closing the doors?
It was, but it was after, so we had definitely, so on the tablet, on the app, it definitely registered a difference in pressure. But what was happening here was the exact same kind of activity that we got at the Carrick Parks house.
Yeah, when you and I were talking about energy and going through. I like that. That was fun.
Whoa.
Well, see, I'm talking about releasing the energy now.
This is interesting.
So we're going to try to recreate an experiment that Kevin and Malia did. And I'll reserve judgment, as in I won't put any speculation. So right now we're not getting anything. The only signal we're getting on the pressure is really normal fluctuations. So yeah, you can hear the door.
Significantly louder, right?
Yep. Yeah, definitely louder. I don't think you're going to confuse
those two sounds. So what we were talking about, and the thing that we were kind of testing, was this idea of residual energy, residual motion, and what that would have been like. So I started thinking, what could the knocking be? And if we want to put the paranormal hat on, I started to wonder, like, and the reason why we tested the doors is it doesn't make sense for this to be the case if it was the interior door, but we do know that the families had a little bit of advanced warning that troops were coming in. So that advance warning, I would assume, would come in the form of a knock from probably a neighbor or a scout who would be telling the families, you probably want to get your belongings because people are coming through. But what's not happening, and what happened when Kevin and I did it the first time, is he knocked on the front door, knocked on this door again, came in here, and we started to get those sudden decreases in temperature followed by an immediate increase in temperature with the pressure changes.
We'd have to go back and see what the level of fluctuation is.
Yeah.
Since just seeing the light's not telling us, is it like a normal fluctuation, 0.1 or 1 degree? Is it 5 degrees? If it was big swings, that of course would be stronger evidence. All these investigations are ultimately to find a super hot spot.
But I do know that my great-great-great-grandfather lost his arm. It's very possible that happened at the Battle of Perryville. You know, being an investigator, loving history, looking for the supernatural, finding out about a coincidence like that is something that, you know, makes you think a bit, makes you think more about your research, more about those strange, uncanny pieces of information like that.
There's a sense of town pride here, unlike many places that I've visited.
The story of Perryville to me is one of just human disgusting nature. and the town got caught in the crossfire of a war that nobody here in town wanted to be a part of.
The Battle of Perryville was not supposed to happen. By pure chance, an unplanned conflict turned the small town into the site of one of the Civil War's bloodiest battles. Are the remnants of this violent event manifesting in otherworldly ways? While we cannot say for certain, we did document significant data that strongly suggests something strange is taking place in Perryville, which warrants even further research and investigation.